And it looks like we're live and on time. So actually, we're 2 minutes late, but I consider that on time. If I'm 2 minutes late for everything, I'm already ahead of the game. But I'm joined here by two of my favorite characters, the Incredible Hulk and the Duck.
The Duck.
Quack.
Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming
doing?
on. It's always a blast talking perfume and meeting up. So I've got Thomas here from the early Greek Stumptown Smells and Rich Mitch, the Duck, YouTube's, I guess, most famous commenter. Can we recognize him as that? Hey, is there a more famous commenter than Rich Mitch?
I don't think so. I mean, I think
I don't know, P.
I think everyone who has ever uploaded even one YouTube video regarding fragrance has received a comment from the Duck. I mean, people who, uploaded a couple of videos like 5 years ago and they have 30 subscribers and they're now, I don't know, selling used tires in Pocatello, Idaho, and have completely forgotten about fragrance, they've got a comment. I mean,
That's right.
Seriously, like the Fragrance Foundation should, I don't know, should give you an award or something. I mean, really, it's really, honestly, it is extraordinary. Because I don't think there is, if you were to ask any YouTube reviewer, including the big dogs to, doofuses like me.
Like us.
It's incredible, I think.
So we actually got a really good point coming in here from Galen. And he says, wait a minute, Rich Mitch is a guest and has the wrench. Isn't that a conflict of interest? And he's got a really good point.
He does.
He's got no point.
It almost feels like a communist stream here. So we got to either get rid of Rich Mitch or he's got to let go of the wrench. But that's neither here nor there, as my friend Thomas says. Anyway, what brings about this stream is I got a message very early this morning from the Duck saying he had just smelled Le Lion for the first time. And his exact words were, I'm not impressed. And I'm like, whoa, we cannot be friends. Either that or I can never buy another perfume off of your recommendation because our tastes are just so different. And I said, you know what? Save your comments, save your thoughts. Maybe we can do a live stream and we can discuss this. I think it's been out long enough where a lot of people have. Yeah.
Just absolutely from on so many levels as well. I think it's extraordinary. And such a brilliant, I think just such a brilliant play from Chanel. It's they kept us waiting for a dark, heady brew, and they delivered. And Olivier Polsch clearly studied the market. Just he did his homework, and it's absolutely. Where do I even begin? It's got all the Chanel. It has that sheen, that aldehydic sparkle, but yet it just probably an hour in just roars into this never stifling. It's gorgeous incensey leather that I shit if I was half tossed on a Friday night and wouldn't get in trouble with the powers that be, I'd order a big bottle and call it a day. Frankly, I really, to me, it's that simple. It's and now I'm going to get flamed off the internet, but it's one of the few Les exclusive Chanels I would actually own.
Ouch.
Yeah. So I'm not, I'm not a Les exclusive fanboy shrill, but I would own this most definitely.
Okay, so marketed towards the Middle East, do you feel like they were pandering, or is there more to this than just a Eastern influence? I definitely feel there's more. There's more to this.
Yeah, I don't think they were pandering at all. I mean, even a cursory examination of the Middle East market, there's no room to pander. There's perfume coming out of, quote, sort of the UAE, Eastern scene, for lack of a better word, that is staggeringly good in quality. This what I so enjoy about this is it satisfies so many tastes.
Not mine.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're a vintage. I mean, look, if I wasn't feeling somewhat objective today, I would be in your boat, because you and I are essentially mainlining oak moss. Like, I mean, that's what we do, right? I mean, you and I get excited about 30-year-old bottles of some ancient Italian, now long discontinued designer we tracked down. I mean, that's our bag. But
actually bought one of them today.
Good for you.
A Romeo Giggly.
Yes. Which one?
The Perfume.
Oh God, you animal! That's lovely stuff. My God.
Bought an original release. £70.
That's it. Really?
Yeah.
Well, virtual cheers to you, good sir.
All right, so let's get Doug's opinion on Le Lion, and I'm really curious as to why he's not impressed. What is it about Le Lion that doesn't tickle your feathers?
It doesn't feel like it's got anything at the top, right? So it doesn't feel like there's any introduction to the perfume. You seem to go straight to the bottom of the mid, and what I get is like, I get a large amount of Cuir de Russy's mid in this at the top of at what would be the top of this. Do you know that sort of stale piss? That sort of kitchen that hasn't been cleaned for about 15, 20, like your grandma's kitchen, your grandmother's kitchen, who like can't like clean the walls by herself anymore. So like the kitchen just doesn't get cleaned. It's got that sort of baking, like old cake vibe about it. That's very butter, and that might be where the buttery sort of like aspect. Yeah, like the vanilla-y, like buttery aspect comes from it, but it's a stale butter. It's not good. This is not good butter, but it's not necessarily in itself a bad thing. What it also reminds me a lot of is, have you both smelled the Cuir de Russe release from Arige L'Adore?
Yeah,
because that smells like stale as well. That's got something in it that's like 100 years old, and it smells 100 years old. This has definitely got that Chanel old pissy woman vibe about it, but not necessarily piss. She's just old. It smells like an old woman, like a rubbery old woman, and not necessarily in a pleasant way. And there's more than a passing resemblance to Cuir de Russie Eau de Toilette in it. It's definitely got the Cuir de Russie. It's definitely got the Cuir de Russie leather. When you say labdanum, I sort of get what you mean about the labdanum, and that adds like a bit of spring, but not spring the season, but like a bit of bounce to the perfume, like a bit of give. Like if it fell on the floor, it wouldn't break a hip. But like, it's just fucking Cuir de Russie.
See, that's really interesting because I've got Cuir de Russie here, and I don't get, like, I've never once been reminded of Cuir de Russie from it. Cuir de Russie is very green to my nose. Le Lion is very golden, dry, and powdery.
I don't get powder from it.
I get a lot of powder, and I get a lot of baby oil from Le Lion, like Johnson & Johnson's baby oil. So it's like baby oil and powder, cosmetic powder mixed together.
I'm just getting my Cuir de Russie out.
It's more of a dry, sharp, woody Oriental, and Cuir de Russie to me is it's a green floral leather, like two completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
No, Cuir de Russie isn't very green to me.
See, when you say you get Cuir de Russie, the only thing that I can possibly think of that connects them is birch tar. I feel like Le Lion does have some birch tar coming from those resins. There is a resinous quality to Le Lion. What do you think, Greek? Is there?
So I've got a decant here of Cuir de Russie in the EDT. And yes, in the ED, is yours an EDT?
Yeah, mine's the EDT.
Yeah, this is very green. This is absolutely stunning. My God. But I don't, for me, this and Le Lion are two totally different portraits going on. I don't know about the EDP. Now, the EDP may not be as green as the EDT, but yeah, to my nose, there's definitely this. I mean, I tell you, Cuir de Russie and the EDT. If I could find a bottle of that without giving away a kidney, that's another one of the few Les exclusives I'd try to track down.
I've got the Cuir de Russie EDT, and I've just sprayed it on my arm, and it's not all at the top of Cuir de Russie. Cuir de Russie's got more of a top, whereas Le Lion doesn't feel like it's got a top to it. Le Lion feels like it just goes straight into the bottom of the mid, and it's very heavy and it's very sunk, and it feels like it's got a low center of gravity, right? And it feels as though like when it runs, like if a perfume could run, like its feet would thud on the floor when it did. It feels like claggy and thick, and like Cuir de Russie at the top has like a spring about. I know what you mean about it being green now. It's definitely got a fresher. Cuir de Russie is much fresher when you first spray it. And David Santiago said spray it on skin. I've got it on skin, and it's Cuir de Russie is very, very, very mid and bottom heavy. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing there for me. There is no top there at all. I've been smelling it all day. Toward nasal lavage for the nose, for the duck. I hope I'm getting that fiver like Eugene.
Yeah, I'll transfer it over. Wait for it.
Yeah, nice one. That's right. It just doesn't. It doesn't have top notes. It goes straight to being mid and thick. And has it got benzoin in it?
Yeah, it must have it. I think it's got every resin possible. Benzoin, labdanum, amber, vanilla. It's not a confectionery vanilla. It's not sweet at all.
No. Like you said, like we were talking about earlier, it's got a baby oil. It's like it's got a not a freshly oiled baby, but it's definitely got a baby oil like vibe about it. Maybe like stale baby oil, baby oil that went out of date about 15 years ago, sort of smell. Do you know what I mean? It's got it.
To me, the leathers are also quite different. In Cuir de Russie, you can notice it like right from the initial blast, and then with Le Lion, it kind of develops in. I don't get the leather right away from Le Lion, and I don't always get leather. There's times where I feel like I think I'm getting Shalimar, and that's only for a brief moment. I don't always get that Shalimar leather. So if it's ever remind me of another fragrance, it's only briefly. I think only once or twice did Coromandel come to mind while I was wearing this, and it's that same patchouli note. So there was one or two times that I thought of Shalimar. There was probably a time I thought of Ombre Sultan from Serge Lutens, which is within the same family. But
it's got to me, it's definitely got Chanel notes in it. Do you know how each house, and I've discussed this before, where like I think like Chanel's vertically integrated and it has its own palette of notes that no one else can use. It smells like a Chanel perfume. Do you know what I mean? It
Right.
smells like Chanel. It smells like Chanel notes in the perfume. It just. So I'm just moving my bottles around. It just.
We can tell.
To me, yeah. It to me, it just. Do you know what? Greek was talking earlier about it smelling like polish, and polish has done his homework. To me, it doesn't smell like a polish. The blending smells like polish. The rest of it smells like a Sheldrake. It smells like a Serge Duton. If not like completely like a Serge Duton, like certainly like the deeper aspects, which I think there are mainly are, smell like one of his old Serge Lutons. Not the newer stuff that's been released, but stuff that's got like stuff, something like Musk's Kublai Khan.
Yeah,
it's got that.
The nice thing though about Le Lion, unlike Coeur de Russie, is that while us perfume obsessed perfumistas, spend hours doing this, unlike most Les Exclusives I've sniffed, with the exception of Sycamore, this Le Lion, because of its lack of top and its sort of immediate, extremely modern vibe, I think is an absolute shot across the bow in terms of cash flow. So I can see one of my coworkers who has a bottle of Bleu de Chanel, a bottle of Aventus, and pick some, I don't know, maybe they've got some citrus Xerjoff laying around or something. I can see them completely getting their nose on this and going, God damn, that smells good. And then incorporating it. And I think when we're dealing with Chanel, that discussion goes on, much to our chagrin, a lot more than we realize. I mean, how many people are actually buying Sycamore in a large bottle daily? Probably not many.
Yeah.
The beauty of Le Lion, though, is you could easily turn this into a shower gel, a soap. I mean, you've got a lot of ways to go with this, which is one of the reasons I like it so much, is because it's wearable. And one of the reasons why, for those who don't know, I'm probably one of the few non-Serge Luton collector addicts. There's a lot of that stuff I really adore, but it's not wearable in the sense of, in the real world, You're going to work, you're going to a wedding, you're going to a funeral, your wife, your husband, whatever. You're not going to, I mean, come on. You're going to go put on Amber Rousset or Amber Sultan, excuse me, when you run down to the convenience store and buy a box of cigarettes and a beer. I mean, come on. Who's doing that? I would do that with Le Lion because, and now I'm going to really uncork it. This is a compliment machine. This really has got, and now I'm going to, oh God, here comes another bomb. This has the whole niche Perfumes de Marly, Michonnet, smooth Xerjoff luxury vibe. And I mean, it does. I'm a sucker for it. If I'm in the right mood, God damn, it smells fantastic.
Man, I don't get any of those comparisons to those other brands. Those brands usually add a lot of sweetness to some of their perfumes, and I don't get that from this at all.
What I dig about Le Lion is that there's the illusion of sweetness, and it keeps you coming back. My mind with this wants me to find the sweetness and can't find it. It very much reminds me of original Opium Pour Homme from YSL, Where opium pour homme in the EDT, not the EDP, in the EDT, you're always wanting to come back to that because I keep going, where's the goddamn sugar? Where's the sugar? There's something missing here.
Right.
And that's addictive because you keep, it's sort of like this personal relationship you have with the perfume, and there's this secret that you keep wanting to explore. Yeah, it's remarkable, I think.
Yeah, like I said, if there's any sweetness in here, it's that vanilla, but it's definitely not, to me, it's not sugary sweet. It's almost like a bland vanilla.
Yeah.
Like a leathery, bland vanilla. But
like a dry vanilla.
Yeah. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, Thomas, but it almost sounds like you're saying Chanel made something on the basis of moving a lot of units. Is that what I'm getting from you? Like you feel like Chanel's created this to become a huge hit?
Well, I mean, how could they not? I mean, let's.
Do you feel like it's trending? This is a trending piece?
Oh, sure. I mean, if I casually go on IG, if I casually read notable bloggers who have a lot of pull in this industry, there's no one yet who's trounced Le Lion, and that I think is is ingenious of Chanel, because frankly, and I'm the first one to get on a Chanel non-high horse here. Blue has run its course. I mean, come on, guys. Do we really need in this market right now, in this pandemic global atmosphere, another redundant, mass-released, non-special feeling fragrance? I don't think so. But my God, man, I mean, you buy a bottle of this for a couple of $100 clams, it shows up in that, we all know the Chanel packaging. It feels special. It feels like it used to feel when you bought perfume.
I get the feeling that this hasn't been trounced really is because it's something that most perfume lovers delight in.
Yeah.
Totally. It's got a nod to the classics. It feels modern. It has, all the good stuff that lovers of perfume want. It's smoky, it's woody, it's charred, it's got leather, labdanum, animalic notes, ambers, vanillas. It's complex, it's deep, it's mysterious. You can just go on and on and on.
Yeah, I mean, and from Chanel's perspective, I mean, right now, and it's problematic for these large companies because their market share is getting eroded by the massive amounts of amazingly high quality perfume being released by these know-nothings. I mean, essentially you've got, these venture capitalists who take on a perfume house, they release 4 or 5 lines, this stuff smells fantastic. I mean, perfume these days smells phenomenal. So Chanel really has got to go, okay, you want to play with the big dog? We got to bring, the Evander Holyfield to the match. I mean, we can't screw around with this. And frankly, I mean, it's kind of nice to see. But then again, I'm still wearing Koros, so I kind of have this allegiance to these designer houses for making these opuses. And I think this will be an opus. I really do. Just like I think Sauvage is going to be an opus. I mean, as I get flamed off the internet again. But 10 years from now, we're still going to be talking about Sauvage. I know, Rich, you hate it, but I think it's...
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we hate it or like it. We got to look at it as objectively as we can. And I think, Sauvage will be around 30 years from now, the same way guys like yourself and Rich are talking about Koros. Sauvage will...
I think that's true. I could say that I definitely think there'll be Sauvage stands in 30 years' time. People who, like you say, me and Thomas are like, will look back to 2020 and say, God, what a great year that was. Do you know what I mean? Like even though 2020 was one of the worst lives, you know, like your kids are going to ask you, like, I haven't got any kids, but if I do have kids, like I imagine they're going to ask us when they get older, what was it like being alive in 2020? The way that we used to ask our grandparents, what was it like during the war? Do you know what I mean? But and the same sort of goes for like perfumes. I agree with you that there will be people out there who love Sauvage in 30, 40 years, and they will lament the new bottles of Sauvage as being watered down and shit, and how IFRA fucked with the chemicals that they used in 2015, and like original fucking run bottles will go for fucking like thousands and thousands of dollars by then because of inflation. But I think that those people will be wrong in the same way that I cannot say it with Le Leon. I mean, to be honest, it is the first day I've got it, and it is like, but it's not like the first time I ever smelled Cuir de Russie. Do you know what I mean? When I was the first time I smelled Cuir de Russie, it didn't like subjectively, I didn't love it, but objectively, I felt it. With this, I don't objectively feel it. With this, I feel like, and I like Thomas was saying, he's not a Serge Lutens fan, but like I am, and I smell Sheldrake in this big time, and he is the master of ingredients, so obviously I'm going to smell what he thinks, like what his input in this.
Well,
I just think. Sorry.
I'm a Serge Lutens fan, but and this is one of the reasons why I've kind of thrown in the towel, at least now when it comes to YouTube reviewing, is that I'm willing to put on a different pair of pants, I guess, when it comes to Serge Lutens. Now, objectively speaking, as a perfume lover, I should own every bell jar from Uncle Serge. I mean, let's get real here, guys. Sheldrake is a goddamn assassin. The man is an absolute master. And if I was ever in the same city as him, I'd get a case of the vapors. That guy is an absolute stone cold pro. But we're in the minority. We're not. I mean, we're the kind of guys who are going to, like, for instance, buy a backup bottle of Mem from Vogue and wax lyrical about pissy green chypres. That's not the market right now. So Chanel's got to navigate this. And so, I mean, I think they've navigated it quite well.
I think this is the best move they could have made. You know, even going back, the release before this, 1957, I think that was more of a bold move than this was, especially with the type of musk they used. But I think this is going to draw more consumers to their brand, especially the less exclusives. It'll bring them more attention. I feel it's both bold and unique and wearable and everything at the same time. And something most perfume lovers will love.
Yeah. I think it's very
like I just scanning the comments here, I see so many comparisons to other things. It smells like Mitza, it smells like Amber Absolute, it smells like yada yada yada. And I get that. I understand that. To me, it's not the most unique perfume. But at the end of the day, it is Le Leon, and it's, you know, it is, it does little aspects of it here and there remind me of other things, but it is, at the end of the day, Le Leon. It is its own fragrance. And that's why I didn't rate it my favorite pickup from last year. Although I think it's probably one of the best fragrances to come out in the last 20 years of this millennium.
I was going to say, you said that to me today, didn't you? You said it was the best release of 2020.
Well,
2000.
And also, there is this hyper emphasis right now on, quote, unique perfume. So every other day, one is bombarded as a perfume lover with the latest and the newest and the hippest and the most unique and the most challenging to wear, and, you know, what massive 400-year-old ingredient limited released you have to smell in order to arrive at this sort of olfactory pinnacle. Well, I think, at least in my potted opinion, which doesn't mean jack, for old school perfume lovers, that's just a crock of shit. This, of course, smells like traditional bases of Shalimar, of shades of Guerlainade, because god damn it, that's the canon. That's the muscle. That's the carotid artery. That's Western perfume par excellence. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. That's what it is. I mean, that's the muscle. So if that's the muscle, Chanel on one hand tips their hat to the old school with that, which I think is extremely appropriate and is a big shot across the bow for all of this sort of obsessiveness with the newest and the greatest and the latest. And I hate to sound like, Jesus, I hate to sound like a pisser, but 5 years from now, and I'm not going to say names of companies because I'm not going to go there. But 5 years from now, 60% of this crap, we're not even going to remember what it was. We're not going to give two shits about the $500 niche exclusive you bought as a limited run. No one's going to remember it because no one's going to have smelt it. And that's the other elephant in the room. You got to get people's noses on this stuff to move product.
Right. So we know the world is watching. The world is always watching Chanel. Do you think they're gonna, start a movement with this, start trends, bring back some of this old school classic back into style?
I think it's never gone away. I just think you need to know where to look for it. And I think that Chanel is going back to a proposition with perfume lovers that, years ago, believe it or not, there was a time where perfume loving was a very solitary affair. One did not have a community of people to share their love of perfume with. You essentially did it on your own.
Right.
And a scent like Le Lion, to me, is so flexible and has such a nod to the old school that it continues that. And that's really the hidden weapon with obsession with perfume, is not nuts like you and I, who, God only knows how many bottles I have around here. It's stupid. We're not the ones that, as a perfume maker and as a nose and as someone who's in this business, you want to be concerned about, really. You want to be concerned about the guy with 10 bottles and he has repurchased 7 bottles of Platinum Ego East. And by God, that's his jam. He's obsessive about it. He's made memories with it. He got married in it. He went to his grandmother's funeral in it. That's who you want. And I think Chanel with this could do that. God knows they can't do it with the, Deauville. I love Deauville. They can't do it with Deauville. Who the hell has patience for Deauville except nuts like you and I? Right, Deauville's not going to appeal to some guy walking into a mall who's been, I don't know, he wore Obsession for a while. He wore Escape for a while. Maybe he dabbled a little bit in Aventus, but gets in trouble with the wife for buying those $400 bottles. He gets his nose on this.
I can definitely see Le Lion taking on a mainstream success in this. I don't know what kind of genre you would call it, but almost the success of a mainstream designer. I can see Le Lion hitting that kind of plateaus.
Yeah.
Can I just say something?
More so than almost any other exclusive. I think he can even overtake Coromandel.
Oh, most definitely, because that sort of floral, puffy patchouli of Coromandel is totally absent from this. Yeah. I don't know.
Can I just say that I couldn't disagree with you any more than I do. This will not come into the public consciousness. This will remain an exclusive, and it will be no more in the consciousness than Bois d'Azil or than Sycamore. Than it will not be that perfume that Platinum Egoist is. It will not be a Bleu de Chanel. It will not be a Sauvage. This is a perfume that people like us would look at. It's almost, I'm almost would say everything Thomas said, but flip it on its head. I think this is a perfume for perfume lovers. I don't think this is a perfume for the general populace. Certainly not in the West, because the one thing that I could say, right, would be that Chanel might be too ahead of its time with it. Because I can't see this shifting, especially not in the current climate where like everybody's lost their fucking jobs and everybody's fucking skinned. But even taking that away from it, right, the smell of it, it's all base, it's all mid, and it's all base. There's no top to this at all, and it's so foreign to the Western market. Like you said, it was made for the Middle Eastern market. Now, with the heat in the Middle East, fuck knows why you'd wear this, but then they wear fucking dank oud and they wear fucking big, deep, thick perfumes. So obviously it's Middle East. I don't doubt that they've done their research and that that they think this is a Middle Eastern perfume, and it might slap in the Middle East. People might fucking love it in the Middle East, but in the West, there's absolutely no. Just not. It's just not. I mean, for us, but obviously not me personally, but for like us, as you say, perfume lovers, this is a star for us. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying it's a bad perfume. Do you know what I mean? It's not Sauvage, which I think is a terrible perfume. Like Thomas said, we disagree about it. But like,
oh no, I think it's a terrible perfume as well.
Oh,
I think it's. Are you kidding me? Sauvage.
Do you just think?
No, it's a terrible.
Do you just think that? Do you think the idea is? Do you think the idea is a good idea? Like you said the other day, it was a smell rather than a perfume.
I think Sauvage in execution and in olfactory profile is genius. I don't personally like it. I try to this day. I have a bottle of the EDT, and I some days will wear it all day long, trying to personally relate to it. But I completely respect the fact that it is it came at the right time.
I think Thomas was stating more of the fact that Sauvage will still be here 30 years from now.
No, I understand. I understand now what you mean. Yeah. And I totally understand what it means.
Actually loves it.
Yeah, and that's the I mean that's the kind of the balancing act I think you have to take if you're going to talk publicly about fragrance is making sort of very clear what your own personal, personally, I'm not going to run out and buy 2 backup bottles of Dior Sauvage and obsess about batch code. But I mean, hell, I definitely now understand why it whoops the ass that it whoops.
I get the feeling that if Le Lion doesn't take on that mainstream success, it'll be more to do about a price point than the actual fragrance itself. And I feel like Dior's Privé have always gotten more of a spotlight than, let's say, the Les Exclusives, the Chanel. And I don't know what the reason for that is. Maybe the Chanels are a little bit harder to wear, or they do smell a little bit more dated, or like one of you guys said earlier, like a granny or whatever. Dior's have always been.
people in the chat are saying that my mic is too loud. Is it as loud now?
Yeah, the mic is it's up and down. It's all over the place. It's a little bit hard to listen.
I've just tried to turn it down a little bit. Is it all right now?
No, it sounds like you're underwater or something. Are you at a swimming pool?
Yes.
Or are you just drowning in perfume?
That's my natural habitat, isn't it? You know what I mean?
He's taking a dip in the North Sea. Cut the man some slack.
That's right. I'm taking a dip in the North Sea. Can you get better now?
No, you're still underwater.
Oh shit! Right, hold on. And there you go. Can you hear us better now?
Yeah, that's great. Don't move.
Oh shit! Right. Okay. Don't move a feather. So you were saying the Chanel Les Exclusives don't get the public hype that the Dior ones do. I think it's because Dior has less of a solid aesthetic than Chanel does. Dior always tries to follow Chanel as well, and Dior's always reactive, is a reactive brand, whereas Chanel seems to be like a proactive brand. But Dior always seems to be quicker on its feet, and Chanel seems to be a lot slower on its feet. Like Dior puts a foot wrong much more often than Chanel does, but Chanel's a lot less nimble, if that makes sense. Chanel's a lot more steady and slow. Like they don't release like 15 privés in a year like fucking Dior just did.
Right, and they don't discontinue 15 either. They keep them for life.
Yeah, fucking spot on. You're exactly spot on.
If you look at the Les Exclusives, I think Coromandel it's probably gotten the most love. It's been the most successful. And then you look at the Privé, and there's just like so many that are popular and talked about, like Fève Délicieuse, Ombre Nuit, Patchouli Imperial, Eau d'Isfahan. There's just, it goes on and on and on. And I don't know what the reasoning of that is. I think they're just they might be sweeter, they might be easier to wear. They're not as old-fashioned, outdated. I personally don't find Chanel's outdated or old-fashioned, but I think that's how a lot of other people see them as. They use a lot of those old aldehydes, those sparkling aldehydes, those powdery orientals, those ambers.
They don't move from a French aesthetic.
Yeah, when you look at Dior's amber, when you look at their Ombre Nuit, it's not nearly as powdery or old-fashioned as a Chanel amber.
Yeah.
What's another Dior Oriental?
Mitza.
Yeah, Mitza was very much in the same vein as L'Oréal. But I feel even that was easier to wear. It wasn't nearly as powdery.
See, I'm getting a metallic vibe from Le Leon now.
I get a lot of baby oil, Johnson & Johnson baby oil.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You've smelled the 6th collection by Riche Ladore, haven't you? You know, the one that came in the yellow felt box.
Not enough.
Now, there is a comment. Dior's a girlfriend, Chanel's a wife. Amen.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
That is, and this is why Chanel have not made this easy to wear, and God bless them. I am so sick of easy to wear perfume, because perfume, to me, good perfume has never been easy to wear. There is nothing that absolutely makes my head explode. Pre-COVID, I'd go into pick your high-end retail store, and I'd watch these guys, and they'd take a bottle and they'd spray it on a sprayer, and 10 seconds later they'd go, "Oh, I hate it. Oh, I love it." What kind of bullshit is that? We're dealing here with olfactory. There's this lack of seriousness. Perfume isn't meant to be liked or loved in 10 seconds. For God's sake, man. I mean, take who are we going to pick on today? Let's pick on
someone.
Let's pick on Rodinska. How many perfumes did he make? Not many. Why was that? Well, there's a lot of subtlety with that. But One of the reasons was the deliberative slowness of creating something that mattered. Not some fly-by-night bullshit flavor of the month, whatever. Something that actually would matter. And that Chanel, thank God, still seems to give two tosses about.
Do you know little stat about Rudnitska? Edward Rudnitska only ever had one student, and it was. Do you know who it was?
Pierre Bourdon.
Yeah, wasn't it Bourdon?
Pierre Bourdon. Yeah. I was going to say I must have told you that before, or maybe one of you told me it. Oh fucking hell! Well, yes, but it goes to show because he would only ever teach one person.
But they have very different styles, I feel. Rudnitska,
what, the two perfumers?
Fresh, effervescent. He used a lot of citrus.
That was the style of the time, though. Style of the time. Rudnitska went through the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and then Pierre Bourdon's first major perfume was Koros, wasn't it?
Who, Bourdon?
Yeah, that was his first major perfume, wasn't it? I can't think of anything before that.
Irish Tweed, didn't he? I don't know.
Yeah, that was 85. Koros was 81. He did do a Green Irish Tweed. He does all the creeds, as we know. If you think it's Mr. Creed, then I've got a bridge to sell you, I'm afraid. Rudnitska. So, Sauvage is beautiful by Rudnitska. Paige Styles is right. Sauvage is absolutely brilliant. I've got a vintage of that, and it's bloody immense.
It is, and the new stuff is absolutely immense as well.
Does it?
Yes, it is. They are different.
Thomas, does it last on you?
No, it doesn't last on me, but I could get two shits. I mean, last 2 or 3 hours, that's great. I just buy a 200 ml bottle of it and call it a day. Hook it up on my shoulder with duct tape. That stuff is absolutely Sauvage. My God, I get a kick out of all these, spring, summer lists. Do us all a favor, Fragcom. Put Sauvage on repeat every year and just upload the shit. I mean, what else do you need? Some Aqua de Parma flanker? Nah.
Thomas has got one of those beer hats and fills it with Sauvage.
Hey, somebody.
That's right.
I love that stuff.
It just trickles down onto his chest.
It's one of the best buys. I mean, honestly, you can order it direct here, at least where I'm at in the world. You can order it direct. It's $129 for 200 ml. Shows up in your door in a fancy little package. You feel special. You hug yourself. You say, oh, I'm worthy today to, not be an asshole to my family. And you spray it like crazy. And I absolutely love it. That's good stuff, man. Sauvage, my God.
It is. It's happy, isn't it? It's a happy perfume. It's like a good times perfume. It's like instantly lifting.
I can definitely see that.
Whether it's summer, whether it's whatever. I mean, my God, you have a crap day, put on some Sauvage. Call me in 10 minutes.
Puts a little extra skip in your step.
Yeah, I mean, who needs an extra pill of Zoloft? Have some more Sauvage.
How do you think it compares to because I think it's very similar to Guerlain's Cologne Imperial.
Yeah.
How do you think it compares to that?
Eugene's the Guerlain, man. Guerlain has no market penetration.
It's just all citrus and herbs. Yeah, I can definitely see. I don't know, man. They're just fresh and light and whiskey and wispy, and they're not meant to last very long. It's just a freshener, after a shower freshener. I think Sauvage is a little bit more interesting, if I'm honest.
Yeah, my new addition with that is Eau de Rochas. That's also another. I adore that stuff.
Those fresh eau de colognes, they're not really my department. I don't have time for that stuff. As much as I love Eau Sauvage, it's not very often that I would, reach for something like that.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Like if I'm going to work, I want something a little bit heavier that's going to keep me company and distract.
You've never got into the Guerlain colognes, have you? It's a bit of cheap cologne.
Hey, your mic's acting up.
Sorry, that's because I was fucking just eating it. Can you hear us better now?
Yeah.
You've never got into the Guerlain colognes, have you?
I have a few. I don't talk about them because I don't wear them, to be honest. So if I don't wear them, how can I preach about them?
Yeah, I really like Cologne Imperial. I think I'm going to get myself a bottle.
I like it too. It's a nice fragrance. I took it to work a few times, and it just there's not a whole lot to say. It's citrus, fresh aromatic citrus. There's not much depth that I can speak about. It's a beautiful fragrance.
This fucking Lilion. It just reminds me so much of Arise Dore's Cuir de Roost. It's got that stale baking vibe. I just can't see the public. I just can't see the public going out there and being like Black Friday. You know what I mean? Where you see people like people curb stomping each other to get their hands on like an 8-inch fucking portable TV. Swen BJ, yeah, right. Sorry if I've mispronounced your name there, Mr. BJ or Mrs. BJ. Ajid. I will give it time. I'm not just gonna say I've smelled it once on Monday, because God knows nobody likes anything on a Monday, and just write it off. I will keep sniffing it. Once I'm through this sample, I'm gonna get another one.
You know what I love about it is the contrast of it's got these really sharp notes. I almost feel like there's some cedar in here. It's got to be the sharp incense, the dryness, and then when you contrast that to how well-rounded everything is, do you get that at all?
Oh, hell yes. It's a goddamn Chanel. Yeah. I mean, we're talking pro-level shit here, boys. I mean, this really made me smile, man. I mean, and the timing of it,
and you're really hard to impress, Thomas. So when I heard that you liked it, it made me happy.
Well, look, the problem right now is if this is your hobby, and I mean, my God, man, I've got more samples around here. It's just embarrassing. I've got enough samples of perfume to scent half of northern Canada for half a year. And this stuff is it's a package. It's a meticulous, well thought out package. It reminds me, honestly, of like the first time I smelled Safari for Men from Ralph Lauren. I mean, which nobody talks about anymore. Oh my God, what a beauty. Or like the old Dolce & Gabbana, with the sticker on the bottle that always came off because the glue they used was shit. It reminded me of this. This is a full and complete experience. And it was and to me, it's just delightful to encounter that in a sea of samples that, I mean, I don't want to be negative, and I don't want to be, Mr. Pissy, but there's so much stuff. It's like, oh, the top notes are great. And then 20 minutes later, oh, well, yep, another woody amber base. But, they've marketed a certain way. So they've upped the aroma chemicals to a certain level to appeal to a certain market who prize longevity and beast mode. Screw all that. I'm tired of that.
Yeah. Davlon T asks if I get an olive vibe from Le Leon. Yes. Like an olive oil sort of, maybe it's not like the color, like, no, the color, but not necessarily the taste. I definitely get like an olive oil sort of vibe. George the Greek is Thomas. His channel is Early Greek.
So this is Thomas, and I've got Rich on. We're discussing Le Lion de Chanel. So Thomas he's formerly of Early Greek, formerly of Stumptown Smells, now back to Early Greek. You can find him on the YouTube channel, Early Greek. And
I do whatever I can to be as cantankerous as I can to the algorithm.
Early Greek was his old alma mater email that he went under, or his university email. He changed it. He updated it. His fans kind of lost their shit when he changed his YouTube handle. So I think you're almost like pressured to go back to your old name. Is that what happened?
Man, people were not happy when I went to Stumptown Smells. I mean, I was getting a little self-conscious, man. I mean, it was like, because I don't do this as a business, right? I mean, I'm not, this is not a side hustle for me. I just like perfume. Whether you're here or not, I'm going to be talking about this to myself. By the way, George, I haven't gotten my nose on your new stuff, but that, the original bottle you put out, that's good. So I got a sample from you. I appreciate it. That's good stuff. I thought it was anyway.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Classic. It's our type of fragrance, isn't it? Like me and Thomas have similar taste.
It is, frankly, but yeah, it is. I should actually get a bottle of it. Anyway, yeah, so people got mad and I'm like, shit, I pissed people off. That's not good. Because I'm such an idiot with this social media stuff. Anyway, at least you've got Instagram. Yeah, and I find that it's just easier to do Instagram. I just I leave all the editing and all the pro stuff to the pros. I don't have time for that crap. I work too much. I kind of feel guilty about half-assing all that stuff because so many reviewers spend so much time and energy busting their ass. I don't know. I guess I just sort of want to stay in my lane, as it were.
So George is asking, are you really Greek, or is it like, how does the Greek get in your name?
No, how I ended up with early Greek is simple. There's no drama to it at all. Years ago, my advisor in university wanted me to upload all of my papers to him, and he was having so many students do it. He wanted us to set up a new email account with some sort of catchy name. And early Greek philosophy has always been an interest of mine. So I just randomly picked early Greek. And then somehow, unbeknownst to me, and Galen from the channel The Etherealist, we live in the same town, and Galen could probably figure it out because he's a lot smarter about this than I am. But somehow
Galen would have chosen Greek style, I think.
Could have. Somehow this email handle of early Greek like cross-pollinated over all of my email accounts, and I've had it for 15 years now, 16 years or something. So anyway, that's just how it is.
Wow.
There you go.
I mean,
and I remember the reaction from your viewers when you changed your name. Is like literally shit hit the fan, and people were upset.
Yeah, which I feel like really bad about because I didn't mean to piss anybody off. But again,
That's why there was all them riots in Portland, wasn't it?
That's right. I think the funding the police came from the change of your YouTube handle.
No. 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 Yeah. No.
So what is Stumptown?
Stumptown is that's a nickname for Portland. Portland, for those of us who are sort of natives here, Stumptown actually has a lot of historical basis. It was called Stumptown by some old mayor from way back when. And so if you're an OG Portlander, that's kind of a tip of the hat that you're kind of an OG. Like if Josh from Imaginary Authors was on here, I'd be like, hey, bro, what part of Stumptown do you live in? And, I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I've got to say this. Slumber House, if you are watching, or if anybody knows the guy, I live in Portland. Brother, I'd love to sample your work, but it's always gone. I know it's a good business model. I hope it makes you some money, but cut us some slack. We want some samples, dude.
Yeah, send Thomas, send Galen some samples.
You don't even. I will buy them. I will buy. Of course, I will buy them. But I'd like to be able to buy samples. because I remember smelling Norn and Or and this other apricot brew that were really quite intriguing. But, you know, I'm not going to throw down, you know, $250 a bottle just on a whim because I'm cheap and because you know, there reaches a point where you don't need, well, you know, Eugene, you're going to argue this point, but I don't need, you know, 500 bottles of perfume. Wink, wink.
For me, what it is with brands, with brands like that is it's a power thing. It's a power thing, isn't it? Surely. So he's like Thomas said, it's part of the aesthetic. It's part of the what did he call it?
It's part of the business model. It's part of the aesthetic.
Yeah,
and I don't criticize. I want to be clear here. I'm not criticizing a business model because I don't know what shoes he walks in. I don't know what obligations he has. I'm not even going there. A man's business is his business. But it just would be nice if I could, you know, go down to the Fumery here in Portland and, you know, and I don't mind paying. I mean, shit, if you want to charge me $90 for a sample set, I'll pay for it. But I'd like to be able to sample some of that stuff. Anyway, rant over.
I don't think I've ever smelled a Slumber House, so I know how you feel.
Well, I mean, I feel kind of like an idiot for living in Portland, you know, home of Slumber House. And like people ask me, they go, "Hey man, how do you like that new Slumber House?" I'm like, "Well, I have no idea." And then I hear from some guy who lives in Singapore, and he's like, "Oh, the new Slumber House is fantastic." And I think to myself, God, am I just old? I mean, what the fuck? Anyway, you know.
Rich Mitch, we can't see you, but we want to know what the fuck you're doing. There's so much noise coming from your mic.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
It sounds like
I'm
you're
just lying here. There's a button. Can you hear us?
All I hear is static.
Can you hear me now?
I hear ya.
All right.
Guys, I got to get motor and I got kids to feed.
All right, Thomas, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for allowing me on your channel. Hope, Rich Mitch, I hope you figure your mic out, brother.
Always appreciate your commentary. Guys, go look up Early Greek on YouTube and give Thomas a subscribe. He's got a great channel, loves talking about the classics and the purity of perfume. Won't find too many compliment getter videos on there, but
no, man. Okay. You know what, Eugene? I will come out of YouTube hiatus and I will do a most complimented perfume video. And of course, I'll promptly lose 500 subscribers.
Yeah, there it goes.
But you know what? That's how cantankerous I am. So I'm going to think about this.
You know what? How about this? Everybody in the comments, type down what video you want to see next from Thomas.
Yeah, there we go.
And I guess majority wins.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll tally the votes. All right, guys, be good. Stay out of trouble.
All right, thanks, Thomas. We'll see ya.
All right, bye.
See you later.
And there he goes. And there she blows.
There she blows. Can you hear us properly?
Yeah, you're good now. But it sounded like you were masturbating or something earlier. I don't know what you were doing.
I wasn't doing that. I'm too ill to do that.
All right, so how much longer before you come back on this live stream and say, you know what, Eugene, I owe you an apology. I was wrong, and I can admit when I'm wrong, but Le Lion is one of the greatest perfumes from the 2000s.
I'll never say any of those things.
What's going to be 10 days, a month?
No, but I'm open to changing my mind about it. But I don't think I'd seriously think my analysis about seriously like when you and Thomas are saying that you think like it could like seep into like the mass consciousness. You didn't actually say that, but I'm taking it as that. Like when you are saying that like it's going to become quite popular with like the general public, and it'll become like one of those things that like people will pick up. I just can't see it. One, it wasn't necessarily made for the Western market. Two, it's not in line with anything that's selling at the minute.
I think as much as is marketed towards the Middle East, it's almost like an equal split as Middle Eastern and classic traditional French perfume as you can get. They marketed an Oriental, an Oriental genre, which is as French as French perfume gets to the Middle East. I think that's actually it's kind of brilliant from Chanel. You see what they did there? They're marketing it's a worldly perfume more than anything, more than it is French or Middle Eastern. You have so many genres within this Middle Eastern genre. So many different avenues that you can appease with this.
I can see why you love it, because I think it smells like Shalimar. I think it's
I gotta be honest, like when I wear it, there's only been a handful of times, 2, 3, 4 times where Shalimar's come to my mind. It's not like I wear it and I say, oh yes, this is, Shalimar's not on my mind. I've never thought of Cuir de Russie. I think more Amber Absolutes come to mind. Ambre Sultans come to mind.
Amber Sultan, yes. I would agree with that. Now you've said that, yeah. Because labdanum goes in ambers, doesn't it?
Labdanum it's part of that makeup.
Yeah, labdanum, vanilla, and something else, isn't it? That goes into making up
benzoin, yeah. Tonka bean. It's almost like a scorched Tonka bean, charred woods, like a Western oud. I wouldn't say there's oud in here, but they kind of personify that with smoked woods. Do you see that at all? Like a smoked woods.
Wait, give us a second, right? I just need to clear my nose. Just let us breathe. Because I've literally had my hand to my face for the last couple of minutes just while you were talking there. Hold on. I wouldn't say smoke, not in the western style of smoky perfume. I wouldn't put
it's
this.
Not right in the top. You're gonna have to let it dry down.
Yeah.
And that smoky definitely starts coming to the surface. Yeah, I get a lot of lemon in this as well. Lemon and bergamot.
See, I don't get any of that. I don't get any top notes at all.
I get a lot of orangey in here, especially in the heart. And it's not like an orange fruit, but it's almost like an orange leather. Like those 80s sofas, those brownie leather sofas that if you look at it in a weird light, it can almost look orange. Like if you get a weird reflection.
Yeah. I wish it was. I wouldn't mind smelling it on paper, because I haven't smelled it on paper yet. I've only smelled it on the back of my hand. And there's incense in it, isn't there?
Yeah, smoky incense.
I don't get you.
It's got that churchy, that especially in the dry down, that ambery, woody, powdery, churchy accord.
Yeah. See, I don't get much of this at all. What I get is like a rich cake mixture sort of like texture about it, like a thick paste.
It's very thick.
Yeah, it's definitely thick.
I think it's the thickest Les Exclusive, thicker than Coromandel. Coromandel,
much thicker than Coromandel, yeah.
Kind of transparency to it. Coromandel's not as rich as this.
No,
it's not to me.
No, I'd agree with that, especially not the EDP. The EDP is the one I've got. It is much thicker. It is textured. Could you put it Sion Bijide? Could you put in how to pronounce your name? Because I feel like a dick not pronouncing your name right. And Richard Pryor asked us a question earlier as well about the Amouage cologne thing I got. It's extremely floral and extremely classic. It smells like a 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s perfume.
Which?
I got that vintage Amouage from 1983. And the gentleman's cologne one, the one that became Gold Man, it was the vintage one I bought last week.
What does Gold Man smell like to you? Are you talking about the Amouage?
Sorry?
Are you talking about
the Amouage, yeah. It's very floral. The one I said smelled very floral, and Hugh Galen and Thomas slapped us down for saying that I didn't like florals.
Right. What does Gold Man smell like to you? To me, it's a very dirty perfume.
See, I don't get that. I get funeral parlor. That's the one I said smelled like a funeral parlor.
You know what Gold Man smells like to me? It smells like a dirty penis, like an unwashed penis, and you've sprinkled honey and baby powder all over it.
So it mustn't be the one I'm talking about. It mustn't be the one I'm talking about. Is that how you pronounce your name? Is it Sean? Yeah, hold on a minute. I'm going to go and get it out. Hold on a minute. Not me dick, though. Yeah. I'm just going to go get me dick out and cover it in powder and honey. See how it compares. Just give us a second. I'm just dropping it. Right. Come here. Now, I'll tell you what I get from it straight away. I get like a talcum powder vibe from it.
Yeah, baby powder.
You're right about the powder. Yeah, now I'm smelling it. See, this might happen with Le Lion. I might smell something completely different. Sorry?
It's very powder. It's very classic French.
Yeah. See, I don't get the piss from it. Everybody's saying pissy floral or like urinal cake.
To me, it's
I don't get
this.
I don't get penis from it. Not that I've ever like huffed on a penis or anything like that. But no, I just haven't. And it's like Richard Pryor. Honestly, whereabouts are you in the world, Richard Pryor? Because there's a woman in the UK, and I can put you onto her, and she's selling vintage bottles, vintage testers.
Old man.
Oh, you would love this, seriously. You would absolutely love this.
I don't think you can. It's not easy to come by vintage Gold Man.
No, it's in a totally different bottle as well. Honestly, it's in like the most generic, shitty bottle with gold writing on that you can possibly imagine. I'll send you a picture after the stream, and it's absolutely. It's the least remarkable bottle you've ever seen, with the least remarkable sprayer, with like a crimp on sprayer. And it's called Gentleman's ED. It's called Gentleman's EDT. It's not even on Fragrantica. But the fucking smell of it's absolutely glorious. But like who wants to put it on her bucket list?
I assume she's talking about Gold Man. She wants to put on her bucket list.
All right. I didn't know if bucket list was a euphemism or something there. Do you know what I mean? It's object, like we were talking with Thomas before about objectively and subjectively with perfumes, whether you can appreciate it for what it is without liking it. And it literally does. I've got Emilios Man. I've got Dear Man. It's one of my favorites. I've got the Made No Man version, and it's absolutely amazing.
Have you smelled
that's very
flora?
No, I haven't. No.
Post Christopher Chong.
Sorry?
Have you smelt any of the newer Amouages?
After Christopher Chong, no, I haven't. There's nowhere to smell them around here. They're not stocked in like my city. But to be honest with you, I've heard they're a bit bland.
I've not heard that. I've neither smelled them nor heard that either. Yeah, here's a good point. NC makes a good point. It's called Gold Men. No wonder it
smells like piss. Yes, golden shower men. Imagine if there was like a shower gel. golden shower for men. It's what was I going to say? Sorry.
You know what I want to talk about this. Have you smelt this?
What is it? You'll have to show us it.
Dude, I talked about this last week. I did an unboxing here. I have to say, I was really underwhelmed with the performance of this. Like, and I never ever bitch about, not being able to smell a perfume, but I really struggled with this.
Roja.
For Roja. I love the smell, but after 2 or 3 hours, I was really struggling to pick anything up. I was wondering, is it just because it's like a musk that I've gone anosmic to and I couldn't smell it? Or
I was going to say, ask somebody else if they can smell it on you. Because musk has a habit of playing peekaboo. But
and because
I've got the Parfums cologne. I've got the Parfums cologne from Roja, and the fucking performance is lifting. The performance is wow.
I have this guy here. He's always harassing me to review Le Male. It's not harassing. It's kind of funny, actually. He's obsessed with the Le Male, and he wants me to compare everything to Le Male. You can see here Alexander's comment.
Alexander Erze. It's Seal Man. Oh yes, the Richard Pryor. There's a 1980. The same woman is also selling a 1980s bottle of CL Woman, and that's in an absolutely crap bottle as well.
The voice of the snake lasts 10 days. I swear, if you don't shower, you'll be able to smell it for 10 days, or for the length of Lent. You can spray it at
for the length of Lent.
I'm sure it'll still be there. I don't have a problem with the voice of the snake.
So are there any other Rojas that you've had problems with?
No. They're all huge. Like Diaghilev is another one. It'll last days. I have the regular oud is, it's a very loud perfume as well. I have no problem with the regular oud. I haven't tried amber oud. I don't know what that's like, but this musk oud is just like, after a few minutes, it turns really soft. It gets really close to the skin, and I can smell it for a few hours, but then it just completely disappears. I've never had anything disappear on me quite like this.
Yeah. Does it go from like being huge to nothing straight away, or is there like a
pretty much? Yeah. It's got this outrageous opening, and then it just kind of like it starts to play peekaboo really quick. Yeah, I want to try this too. Do a blindfold test. As far as like being able to guess my perfumes, I'm really curious if I'd be able to do that. I
have to get Maria to help you do that.
I can see how that's kind of challenging, because I got things at the bottom of my shelves that I haven't smelt in years.
Yeah, and you still won't sell them
on my shelves I've never worn. Like I've smelt them, but I've never taken them out for full wear.
Are you like? I think you'd pass with all the malls and all the stuff you're really familiar with. It would just be like
Chanel's and Dior's. I think I'd be able to get most of them.
Yeah,
it's things that I don't wear that I'm concerned about.
Yeah. Did you see the Joey one? The Joey Cannoli one?
Yeah, I saw parts of it. Yeah, and he did pretty well. He started pretty good.
Yeah,
and I saw
it was pretty entertaining as well. It was quite fun. So it's like it's quite a Raphael's right. You could get Maria.
Yeah, Maria, I can get her to help with that. She would do that. I wouldn't bring my kids on YouTube, but I would definitely ask Maria to come and help with that.
Yeah, that'd be quite fun. I'm not sure if I would be any good at it because I don't wear half my collection for half the year. I split my collection in half, and the changeover point is coming next Monday. So I'm getting ready to start wearing all my light and airy and bresh, all my like breezy fragrances next Monday, even if it's snowing. Do you know what I mean?
Right. And there's absolutely no way you would dig back into the other side while they're off limits. That's interesting.
It helps me keep my fragrance collection. If I get laid by wearing Liliana, I will pay you a donation of $3 US.
I got the best viewers.
How many people are watching?
I see 88.
That's not bad.
That's excellent for a Monday night.
It is. For a Monday night.
Yeah, for a Saturday night, this would be excellent. I'm always surprised at how many viewers I seem to get.
That's because your subscribers are real.
Sorry?
And fucking your subscribers are real. And
they're all real.
Certain other reviewers don't have real ones. So when they do streams, they don't get fucking many subscribers. They don't get many viewers. But your subscribers are actually real. They're like we were talking the other day. We were talking the other day about like the size of different communities and stuff like that.
Right.
Like the fragrance community. I mean, like if you actually look, like almost everybody in the fragrance community, whether you like them or not, everybody knows each other. Like there are rarely people
somebody, but you'll know who they are.
Yeah. Whereas if you're looking like the gaming community and stuff like that, like especially I'm picking the gaming community because of like what it is, and how big it is. But like gaming community is absolutely fucking huge. Like there are some people who like put out a video and they get like 50,000 views in the first hour or the first half an hour. And then after like a couple of days, it's up to like 2.5 million views. And it's like, that's a lot of AdSense. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they get like, there was one bloke.
Because gaming's huge. Like, think about this realistically. How many people spend all day, every day, obsessing and thinking about perfume for all their spare time? It's kind of an oddball hobby, right?
Yeah, it's a very niche hobby.
Right. Gaming, kids do that on all their downtime. This is a hobby we think about. Gaming is a hobby you do.
Yes.
Like you can't do perfume. You can wear one perfume at a time. You can't go and wear like spray perfume all day long. You get a migraine or a headache. You get sick, right? You wear one or two perfumes max.
Yeah.
Like realistically, you can't do perfume. Yeah. You can think
there
about
are very like it's a very niche hobby, perfumes.
And if
you know what I mean, even for a niche,
you can discuss perfume. It's a distraction like no other, though. Like every other, I mean.
Yeah,
it's no different than like you can't do politics, but you can think about it and you can discuss it with your friends, right?
Yeah, there's only certain people who actually get to do it. Sort of like the difference between somebody who buys perfumes and somebody who makes perfumes.
Well, it's all part of the hobby, regardless of what avenue you're coming in from.
Yes, I was going to ask you how's your perfume coming on? Have you anything new to tell anyone, or?
I'll save it. Yeah. There's something every day going on.
Outrageous. Progress being made, though.
Yeah. Should be having some new bottles come in tomorrow, some samples. Should be tomorrow or the day after. Always getting new caps in. I can't seem to get, find the perfect cap.
Yes, I've noticed.
Yeah, you see quite often. I'll share stuff with you.
Yeah. It's a tough one to get right, the cap, isn't it?
I'm almost thinking I got a custom cap, but there's that minimum order quantity and there's the huge overhead. if I can find something that I like and find a vendor that I like working with, I would definitely think about.
Yeah. It's I mean, excuse me. Sorry. Have you had any feedback from your perfumer yet?
Feedback in he hasn't started yet. Like we talked.
He hasn't started yet.
Yeah. Oh, he's actually gave me a list of suppliers and came at me with prices for oils. And I told him basically, like, use regardless of price, use whatever you think will make the nicest and the best creation. So if it costs more, it doesn't matter. Just use what you feel is best. And he was really happy with that, because the best between the price between the best and second best is literally double.
It's like the law of diminishing returns, isn't it?
Right.
So if you want the best, the price goes up through the roof. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, are you still like enthusiastic about it?
Yeah.
Like you haven't had any major doubts or anything like that.
No, I don't get doubts, but there's times where I get stressed a little bit, and the moment that does, I just shut it down. You know, I'll shut my laptop down or my thoughts. I'll go outside, get some fresh air, and I'll start over again a few hours later. But yeah, no doubts. I know this is what I want to do. It just all came very naturally, you know.
Yeah.
I just feel really aligned with it, and you know, this is kind of what the universe has offered me, and I just kind of going with it, you know.
That's not bad. Someone was asking me today if I would who was it? It was Nigel on Friday. Nigel on Friday was asking me if I'd like to make my own perfume. And I thought about it. I knew he was going to ask us, but it still sort of caught us half off guard.
You weren't expecting.
I thought about it. He had given us the questions beforehand, but for some reason the questions still caught us off guard. And when he asked us, and I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, "Do you know what it is? No, I would rather be like at least not at the minute. I suppose is probably the way of putting it. I suppose if you'd asked you 5 years ago, would you like to make your own perfume, you might have said no. Do you know what I mean? But then you might have said yes. I don't know.
Something that I didn't believe I could have done 5 years ago. Mentally, I wasn't prepared. I didn't think I was worthy or good enough, or just not something that I would be able to do.
Yeah. It's that's about where I'm at the minute.
You know, one of the challenging things is, though, there's so many different moving components to this, and it's almost like you need them all. At the end of the day, they all need to come together, like from different parts of the world, and it's like ordering the minimum order quantities. And because I'm going to get these filled, I'm not going to do them myself. I actually found a manufacturer who's going to fill these for me in France. Now
that's all right, because you were saying that you were going to have to. You didn't know what the fuck you were going to do with them.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I found somebody, and I'll talk about this more later. He's known. He's I don't know how big he is, but his brand is known. So it's like the bottles, there's a couple of bottles that I found that I really like, but there's a minimum order quantity, which I don't mind ordering, but I don't know if the manufacturer will have the space like to hold on to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the minimum order quantity for caps is different than bottles. And then,
oh, that's a pain in the ass.
Right. So those are kind of the challenges that I'm facing. Like I found some caps that I kind of like, but I need 5,000, you know, and then bottles is like 2,000 or whatever the number is. They're all different from each other. Like, you know, if I order 5,000 caps, I don't mind paying for them, but can he hang on to them for, can I let them sit in his warehouse for a year or 2 or 5 or whatever it takes to move them? Is he going to be okay with that? Because I don't know what his, I don't know what his place looks like. We've chatted a few times, but I don't know what his warehouse looks like.
That's right. You would have to find out what like the law was before he could like destroy them or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's a lot of thinking and just kind of measuring and planning and organizing, which is, I've never done anything like this.
That's like quite new to you.
Absolutely.
Do you find it exciting, or do you find it like?
Yeah, I do. It gives me, it's very fulfilling. I find it fulfilling for me. Because before, is where I'd be wasting my time doing nothing. I'm actually like, I'm planning, here I am creating my future, and I love doing it. It's like, it's a production coming from love, like from within, with good intention.
It's like a good thing you're putting out into the world.
I feel so aligned with this. Like it was just meant to be. And I feel like extremely fortunate because, even talking to these people, they're totally different than the people I talk to on YouTube. So I'm almost like learning different things on a daily basis.
Yeah, like you're not the one doing the teaching, you're the one doing the learning.
Absolutely. And it's exciting just learning about maceration and sourcing materials. It's pretty awesome. Like I've already been invited. The manufacturer's invited me to France, and he's like, next year when everything's open, like I want you to come and see this.
Oh shit! You should come to England.
Yeah, I'd love to travel everywhere, but he's like, you really need to like what we do on a completely different side. So it's exciting in that sense.
Yeah. Come over to England. Maybe I'll have my back fixed by then. I'll be able to like come to London or something. We can go and terrorize. We can go and take all the caps off all the bottles in all the perfume stores in London.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a long time since I've been to London because it's a shithole.
You can just come to Toronto and I can fix your back in the shop. We got all kinds of.
Yes, that's right. You could blow us up with your welding torch in the thing. I mean, you couldn't make me back anyways. To be fair, I could attach some rods, some metallic rods.
Yeah, absolutely. Like rebar.
That's been threatened.
We just duct tape some rebar to your back.
Yes, that's right. Duct tape.
Cement you up with cement.
I've been threatened with bars before off the doctor. That was less of that. Like he was like, "Oh, we could stick a rod in your back." I was like, "Fuck, I could stick a rod in your fucking back." Doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? Fuck that.
You know what? One more thing I gotta say, I'm extremely grateful for is all the people that I've reached out privately. Like, I've got one guy that. Like I've already started working with a designer, but I've had another guy reach out and says, I watch your videos. I've never really commented, but I'm a designer and I've already just started designing your perfumes without even talking to you. And he's like, I'd love to get on a Zoom call and show you what I've come up with. And, if you love it, great. If not, no strings attached. So that's another thing that's kind of stood out for me. Is I feel like people are embracing this, which means a lot.
Yeah, people are willing you on.
Yeah, because you remember at the beginning I was talking about all these doors closed and it was so hard. Nobody would even respond. Like I've sent out hundreds of emails, and you'd be lucky if you get a response. Hundreds of phone calls. And the person that answers would be the janitor. And he's like, yeah, there's nobody here to talk to you right now, but let me take your number and they'll call you back. And the phone call never comes, right? Yeah,
that's the one. That's the one. Have you thought of any marketing stuff for it?
What do you mean, Mark?
Like
I won't
marketing. How you going to market it? Are you just going to do it through your YouTube channel? Or are you going to?
We're still far away from that.
Yeah. Just when you mentioned the designer, getting in touch with it. So, is the designer somebody who wants to design your labels or your bottles?
I'm not sure. Like the guy that's reached out, I'm not sure what he's had in mind, but I'll definitely get in touch with him and see what he's come up with. I'm kind of curious because he is a fragrance enthusiast. He loves perfume, so and he's been doing marketing for 25 years. He owns his own company, so he's obviously got experience.
Is 25? Did you say 25 years there?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That, you know what I mean? He's been in the game, and he's a fragrance enthusiast. You've got to imagine the amount of times he's run through his head. He's probably heard you and thought to himself the amount of times being a perfume enthusiast and a designer, how many times in his head he's designed a perfume bottle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
He must have done it like 1,000 times at least in his own head, and how we would have the perfume and how we would have the bottle and the color of the juice and the cap and the fucking Jesus.
You know, one thing that he said that's really stood out is the best designs are invisible, and they take after nature. Like you're taking thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years of evolution.
Yeah, it does your R&D for you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's somebody wants to see your perfume in a Lamar bottle with a big bulge.
Peter.
It's interesting. I can't. Well, like I'm interested and looking forward to it. Like it's going to be a big year. You know what I mean? It's just a shame that you didn't get furloughed, really. You know what I mean? So you could just sit at home and do it all the time and get paid.
Sorry, what's that?
Sorry? Do you not know what furlough is?
No, what's that?
Furlough is where you get like you don't have to go to work, but the government pays your wages. What happened in our country? Because of the lockdowns, the government said they would pay 80% of everybody's wages if the company paid the other. If the company paid your other 20%, just to keep the economy moving, really, and the government had to borrow a lot of money to do it. But I forget it's North America. You won't get furlough over there. Look it up, furlough. FUR.
No, we're still working, and as long as you're working, the government wants you to work. They don't want you to stay home.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. In this country, what they've said is, to protect everybody's jobs, what they're doing is everybody has had to stay at home, right? But the government pays your wages, so that everybody doesn't get sacked, so that nobody goes without, and the government pays up to 80% of your wages while you sit at home doing nothing. So that businesses, sorry,
and the government's just printing money out of fresh air, right? And then they get
they've borrowed it. No, they've borrowed it. They're not printing it. They're borrowing it.
Well, it still needs to be paid somehow.
It needs to be repaid. Yeah, we're just the country's in loads of fucking debt again. That's what's happened. The furlough scheme. That's what it's called. So if you were working in this country, you'd have spent 4 months in the summer last year at home, and then you'd have spent November at home, and then ever since Christmas, Boxing Day, January, just before New Year's Day, up to March the 8th. That's when the furlough scheme. So about 9 months, all told, of everybody's wages being paid by the government. It's been pretty. We got furloughed in America. Yeah.
Alex Chu says they're paying $900 a month. I think it's $900 every 2 weeks they're paying, isn't it? So it's $1,800 a month.
It's borrowed. Yeah, it's borrowed. It's definitely not printed. Because inflation would go through the fucking roof. It's borrowed. It's not new money. I saw a thing the other day where it said the world is in $281 trillion worth of debt. And it's just like that. You might as well just fucking cancel it. I mean, who the fuck? You know what I mean? Who the fuck's got 281 million?
Cancel work, right? Have us stay home.
Just cancel it.
How awesome!
Exactly. Well, it's essentially what's happened to us. I mean, you get over it. Like, I mean, everybody's itching to get back to work now. Everybody's absolutely sick now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was honestly, I swear to God, this is true. I swear on my life, this is true. There was a man who absconded from jail. Do you know, like them? I don't know if you have them over there, right? But there's these like these prisons we have where you get let out on day release, but you've got to go back to prison at night. To cert like and like it's to like it's to yeah, it's like a day prison. It's like a night prison sort of thing. So you don't
have weekend prison. You got to go to weekend for the jail. You go to jail for the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, there was this bloke who absconded from one of these jails, right? And he got so sick of his family staying at home, he went and handed himself in to the police.
He went back to jail on purpose.
He went back to jail rather than spend any more time with his family. That's right. He got fucking sick. It's awesome. I thought it was one of the fucking best stories. It's just been crazy.
Sad, actually.
Is Peter still there?
What's but the price of gas has gone up. Do you remember when the lockdown first started? How gas crashed? The price of gas,
right,
like the lowest it's been in probably 15 or 20 years. It's already come back. I think it was $1.20 here per liter the last time I filled up. And I remember it being like, man, it was probably at around 90 or even lower than 90 per liter.
We pay more than that tax on ours. Ours is £1. I think for a liter of petrol, it's about £1.20 at the minute, and about 100 pence of that. So a pound of that is tax.
Wow.
But we in this country, right, after 2030, it will be illegal to sell petrol cars or brand new cars. Sorry. Like brand new cars, like companies in this country won't be able to sell brand new petrol or diesel cars. They've all got to be electric, brand new electric cars.
So then they're going to jack the price of electricity.
Yeah, something will happen. We'll start running on hydrogen or something.
What are they going to do with the gasoline and the oil?
Keep it in the fucking ground because it's poisoning. It's poisoning everyone. Do you know that fucking petrol? Do you know when you fill up your nose? You know when you fill up your nose. Do you know when you fill up your car with petrol, right?
Yeah.
Gasoline, right? The smell of gasoline can strip the lining off your nose.
Well, I mean, are you snorting it or what? Like, you know?
No. If you sit and smell, if you sit and huff on fucking, if you sit and huff on petrol and stuff like that for ages, obviously it's going to do some severe damage. But if you like the old 4-star, what we used to get in this country, like leaded petrol, not unleaded petrol, but leaded petrol, used to take like fucking linings off people's noses. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. In Portugal, €1.48 for a litre. That's a lot of fucking.
That's like
will it be illegal?
Imagine $2 Canadian. But Europe has always been the price for gasoline has always been higher in Europe than North America.
Yeah.
Like
because
it's worth the cost of gold.
Yeah, it's mental. It's crazy.
We'll send you gas in exchange for perfume.
Your fucking perfume. I'll tell you what it is. I'd rather the petrol prices were through the roof than the perfume prices were American perfume prices. This is a long. It's not. Do you know what I mean? It's not my place. I have no like dog in the fight. But American perfume prices are a fucking obscene, fucking in an obscene state. How the fuck they get it? How the fuck like that? Sometimes double. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking crackers. But on the usually a grey market's pretty good. Sorry, I'll keep fucking drawing breath. Your second hand. Just looking at you there for a second. Have you lost some weight?
Not really. No.
Maybe shaving your beard off.
Yeah, it must be the beard. The beard's really aged me.
Yeah, I shaved my beard off.
I saw your reflection of your forehead earlier.
It's not like my forehead goes all the way back past my ears now. That's just that's just me age. That's just started losing me hair when I was 19. Back when I was wearing Ultraviolet Man. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what I lost my hair.
Yeah, must have been the cheap cologne. If you were wearing Chanel, you'd still have your hair.
Maybe I used to love Allure. The original Allure for men. Allure.
Yeah.
But it's very metallic now. Very metallic.
It's been a while since I've worn it. I find Platinum Egoist way more metallic, and for that reason, I can't wear it. Even though I used to love it at a point, but it's very metallic-y to me. It's probably the geranium. It's got this sparkling geranium in it.
Yeah, mixed with the aldehydes. There'll be aldehydes in it because it's Chanel. You know what I mean? Aldehydes loft will come off a little bit metallic. It depends on skin.
When you wear Platinum Egoist, do you see any certain color?
Not metal.
It's metallic-y, but I don't see metal.
Yeah.
I see for some reason almost like this magenta or this very light red color.
I was gonna say a yellow, sorry, not an orange, a yellow.
Oh.
But not a citrus yellow. Not the same color as me rubber duck, like a yellow with more white in it. Do you know what I mean? When I smell it, it's not a citrus. I don't get a citrus from it. I get it because it's still got the wood in it, not the sandalwood. Oh fuck me, what's it called? I can't remember which wood. There's quite a woody vibe I get from Platinum Egoist on my skin. But I'm looking forward to wearing that. I've bought so many do you know what? Because this is another thing I do. I buy perfumes for the spring and summer during the autumn and the winter. And I buy, do you know what I mean? Like I buy them like when they're out of season because one, you get them cheaper, and two, it's like something to look forward to. So I've got a lot of new perfumes I'm looking forward to wearing. I bought 5 perfumes today. I got some bad news, so I bought 5 perfumes.
Is everything okay? Is there something you need to tell us?
Is there something I need to tell you? No, fucking just the doctor tried to tell us I needed insulin.
Are you feeling
I was like, mate,
after you click buy now?
No, I'm not actually. Would you believe it wasn't that? It was talking to one of my friends. One of my friends wouldn't leave us alone after he finished work. He was like, "How are you? Tell us what's wrong." And I was like, "No, just leave us alone. I can't be bothered." And he wouldn't leave us alone. And eventually, I told him and felt better. So, that was nice, in a way, in a strange way.
Are they all backup bottles?
No, 3 of them are. I bought 3 bottles. Anybody interested? There is a website that Eugene made famous called Premier Avenue, and Premier Avenue is selling vintage Serge Lutens at €50 for 50 ml, and some of them are the Palais Royal. It's like Baptême de Feu, and and there's Baptême de Feu, and then there's Vetiver Oriental, which is the one I got. I got 3 of today. And then there's like Le Religieux.
Very good perfume. Vetiver.
Yeah, I like Vetiver Oriental. It's really nice. It's like, I'll tell you what it smells a lot like, Coromandel, because it's got that dark Christopher Sheldrake dark chocolate. Do you know what I mean? I'm still trying to smell the fucking Le Lion. I just can't. I needed insulin after buying Great Britain.
Why was it dry, or what? Is Great Britain not sweet, or is that the joke here? There's no sweetness in it, or
I don't know. Maybe he just had like a sugar crash.
Is it overly sweet? Great Britain.
I don't know. I haven't bought Great Britain. No, I haven't smelled Great Britain. Like I said, the only 2 I've got are the the Parfums Cologne, and they're not very impressive. I wasn't impressed by them, I should say.
Premier Avenue is the website.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Zhao, go on, Joe Lima.
Yeah,
Go on, Premier.
He doesn't have
Yeah,
enough.
that's right.
So go on there and get those savings.
That's right. If you search Serge Luton on that website and go down and click on Vetiver Oriental or Baptême de Feu or Le Religieuse or the Iron Maiden one.
I imagine Zhao's running out of perfumes quite quickly, eh?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, as well, they do Perfume Roma as well at a half decent price. They do them at 187 euros, which is about standard price. It's cheaper than it is in Britain. Put it like that.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
They've
They
got
do
great
reasonably
prices,
priced.
but customer service is atrocious. And if you ever need to get a hold of them, you're fucked. Like, they never respond. They don't answer. It's, I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the ass to deal with them.
Yeah, it is. It is a pain in the ass because I tried to message them asking how many bottles of Vetiver Oriental they had left, and they never got back to us. So I just tried to buy 3, and it let us. So there we are. I'm glad because if Zhao goes to try and buy some, at least there's some left for him. Everyday product, you're right. Yeah, because they did. If you spend over 100 euros, then you get free shipping. As Peter talking about AI computers doing digital art.
Talking about artificial intelligence doing perfumes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
So
that's all Dior's.
Is it them programming artificial intelligence, or is it perfumers programming the artificial intelligence?
I'll tell you what I think it is. I think what they do is they put into the computer the data that they get from all their research of what people like and what the trends are and what all that, like, all the data that they gather, all the market research. Right. And I think they put it into a computer, and the computer says this, and this. So it'll say, like, use this. It'll say, like, you want it to smell like this, with crossed with this, crossed with this, crossed with this. And then what Francois Demachy does is he's the chemist, and he says, I know what chemicals will work with that and what chemicals will make that smell, and that's how he builds them. I don't think he's a perfumer. It's taking the perfumery out of perfume.
So it's basically like an algorithm, almost the way Facebook or Instagram works.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I see Saab replays here to tell you that he loves you.
We love you too, Saab. Thanks for coming on.
Ambroxan, sandalwood, and vanilla. Basically, Fumery Turk's so good. Yeah, Zhao's right again. That's one of my next purchases. Fumery Turk, and Galen's going to sell me his Fila Nagil, but he doesn't know it yet. Or he hasn't decided that he's going to sell us it yet, but he is going to sell us it. Absolutely.
I think Ambroxan gets a totally bad rap, eh? Used in small dosages, it's actually not so bad. I know how you don't appreciate it because you love your classics and your vintages, right? But
yeah,
you can't. I don't think you can get away today without using Ambroxan in some of your compositions.
Not unless you want the price of the perfume to be 500 quid a bottle. Yeah. Because it's ambergris. Ambergris just, but I don't think Ambroxan's that close to ambergris. Every time I've smelled Ambroxan in something, it doesn't smell anything like ambergris. I'm not even sure Ambroxan's.
Ambroxan to me is very soapy and metallic, and it's got a huge throw to it. It's bubbly and clean and woody.
Yeah, it's not
everything around it richer.
Yeah, it's not like it's like somebody was asking me the other day about ISOE Super, because she had seen that they were talking about Molecular One, and I was like, oh, Molecular One's just ISOE Super, and I forgot who I was. I forgot I wasn't talking to Eugene or Thomas or Galen or Caboose or Peter or somebody who knows what these things are. And she was like, oh, what's ISOE Super? I was like, oh my god, how long are we going to be here? I was like, it's a perfume that doesn't have a smell.
Yeah,
and she was like,
on your own scent and just amplifies it.
Yeah. And she was like, what the hell do you mean? It's a perfume that doesn't have a smell. I was like, oh, what have I done? So it took us about 2 hours of explaining to her. And in the end, I was just, I'll sod off and fucking Google it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I can't deal with this.
It is, I don't know,
Yeah, it's one of those things. It is literally, it's a bit magical, ISOE Super. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it round to the Hermes and I'm going to spray it on her. And I'm going to say, ISOE Super isn't the orange. So whatever you smell in Terre de Hermes, it isn't the orange. And that's what ISOE Super is. And she'll get a good vibe of it.
Speak to ISO.
Sorry?
Like if you smell ISO right up like this, you're not going to smell anything. You got to smell it from distance.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
almost like in the trail because it's so sharp. Yeah. It's going to burn your nose.
Yeah. It's the thing with ISOE Super is, right, is it sort of gives you an impression of something that's not there. Like you say, it's in the trail. It's like a perfume. It's the best way of describing it. It's a perfume without a smell.
It has a smell, but it's just it's cloying.
Yeah, it's like a salty smell, but not. It's like a salty smell without salt. Do you know what I mean? It's like a day at the beach. Do you know what I mean? Without the sand and the sun and the sea. You get the impression of something, but it's not quite right. I'm going to end up having to buy her a sudden bottle of ISOE Super or fucking Molecular One. That's what she wants. That's what she's angling for. And I bet you fucking hates it as well if I do. She's my mate.
What do you think?
Salty skin in the sun, yeah.
Yeah, forget about ISO. It's so nothing. But what do you think about Tonka bean? Ooh. Like I like Tonka bean when used in very small doses in the dry down in Orientals. I don't like when it's used as the main accord, like in Fève Délicieuse or when it's overdosed. It's just so goopy to me, goopy and
yeah. I think one of the problems with Tonka bean is it's so ubiquitous. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's literally everywhere.
It's everywhere at all times.
And it feels as though it's such a cheap material. And everybody loves it. It's almost like a different aspect of vanilla. Like it's in the vanilla. Everybody loves vanilla, right? I can deal with vanilla, but Tonka, there's something about Tonka that bothers me.
It could be the slightly burned aspect of Tonka. Like you get a slightly roasted vibe with Tonka.
I like scorched Tonka. I don't like the overly sweet one. Like from all the Tonka fragrances, I think I like Le Labo's Tonka the best, just because it's the most interesting. As far as the composition goes, it's not blended it's not as smooth as the Dior's Fève or even the Guerlain's Tonka Imperial, but it's butch, it's unfinished, it's very choppy and sharp, but it's the most interesting.
The Tonka's, it just feels like we're being bashed over the head with Tonka now. Like it's more that I'm sick of it that I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? I think you might be saying that as well. Like a well done Tonka is going to obviously smell nice because it's well done, but there are so many perfumes with Tonka in now. Fucking it's like. It's like like when you're a teenager and your parents tell you to do something, you say, no, fuck off.
Right.
That's sort of how I feel about Tonka now. I feel like it's just been thrust upon us and I don't want it.
And these guys are saying there's barely any Tonka in Le Labo. That's probably why I like it the best from all of those Tonka. But I would say there's Tonka in there. It's very leathery and almost animalic.
Yeah. I haven't smelled any Le Labos, and to be honest with, excuse me.
I think Tonka is the note that most perfume enthusiasts like enjoy and want to see the center of most perfumes.
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a nothing note, such a boring note. Like you can literally
it's
in masses of perfume.
It's been rammed down everybody's throat to the point where it's like Aventus. It's like Aventus has been rammed down everybody's throat so hard that nobody fucking like. I think the Aventus thing's dying off now. Aventus is. I'll tell you what. Do you know Thomas said before that he thought that Le Lion could go like mainstream sort of thing. Like it's the future. It's like a lot of might be misrepresenting what he was saying, but like said it could be like a crossover perfume, like Aventus has become. Right. It's not. I mean, it's like yes. Peter caught the yawn offers.
Rich will send me messages, and in the middle he's yawning and chewing his gum, and so I'm quite.
Got to chew me gum. I've told you I've got to chew me gum. I've got dry mouth off all the tablets.
But you're also in a different time zone. What is it?
That's like only 1 o'clock. Yeah.
5 hours or 6 hours.
Yeah, it's 5 hours. But no, what I'm saying is like it's like Aventus. Everybody's so sick of Aventus, especially in the fragrance community. It's like
more so enthusiasts than noobs. Noobs love that kind of stuff. Because
right.
And they chant and they cheer and they're they're the cheer
around it like the Wicker Man.
Right.
That's right. The two that got around
the Aventus, where most people on the outside like us looking in, we just kind of laugh, but we let them do what they want. Yeah,
right.
That's having fun. Who gives a shit, really? Like, look at that.
I just think
we talking about Le Lion, the Aventus lovers get us and go look at these. You're talking about old grandma perfume.
Yeah, I just think Le Lion. Maybe it'll take 5 years because it took Aventus about 3 or 4 years to take hold of like the community and completely turn it on its head and make the community and become like the darling. Do you know what I mean? Aventus wasn't the darling in 2011. That was Frappan 1270.
But you got to consider the community back then was pretty much non-existent compared to what we have now. There was
quite right.
A fraction of the YouTubers. There was like 5% of the YouTubers back then. I think for that time, it got pretty big. For what
Aventus? I think Aventus really came into its own in 2013, 2014. Because I remember there were the big hype because Pure Malt. If you remember Pure Malt was 2008, 2009. It got
$800 for that on eBay.
And then all of a sudden they brought it back out again.
Right.
Yeah. Liam's right. I would take Green Irish Tweed over Aventus. I've got 2 bottles of Green Irish Tweed. The creed I really want is the one fucking Mark had on his fucking list yesterday. Green Valley. Thomas did a video about Green Valley. You should go and watch that because that's a. I agree with every word of that. We're talking about ambergris. Thomas's video on Green Valley is brilliant because he's just got a little sample and he's just like what the fuck? Why don't they make perfume? Why don't Creed make perfume like this anymore? Just the best fucking ingredients, the best fucking smells. The fizzy dry down, like almost aldehydic fizzy with the ambergris, but they don't. Do you know what I mean? And you can guarantee they're gonna just Creed wanted to be the best perfume house in the world, but they're gonna have to settle for being the biggest. Do you know what I mean? Now they've been bought out by BlackRock. You can guarantee they're gonna move away from stuff like ambergris. those 120 ml creeds you've got are going to start going up in price big time. The 120 ml bottles, because that's when the change to the 100 mils, people are going to use that as a rule. People are going to use that as like a rule of thumb for when the quality started to go down. And like, I managed to stock up. I've stocked up about 3 or 4 bottles of Creed from the ones that I like. I really like Himalaya, the one that smells like stones.
I own 2 Creeds. I had Aventus. I sold my Aventus. I had a bottle of GIT. My son broke it. He was playing with it. So I've got right now a Royal Oud, which I probably haven't worn in 2 or 3 years. And I have a bottle of Bois de Portugal that a viewer sent me. And I love it. I love the Bois de Portugal.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. It's
absolutely
really nice.
Beautiful. It's my favorite. It's my favorite Creed.
I find it a worldly perfume.
Yeah. Yeah, it smells wise, doesn't it?
Gentlemanly.
Yeah.
You know, that's
you
what
go to a wedding wearing that. Yeah.
Grandpa does smell like.
Yeah. Yeah, when he was like wearing when he was like dressed, he was always well dressed.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's it's a beautiful perfume, Bois de Portugal. It's one to treasure that, because you can't find them 120 ml bottles anymore.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and they don't use the ingredients that they used to anyway. So
I don't know about
that's
that.
about it. The bottle of Bois de Portugal is your bottle of Bois de Portugal is legit. It's 2000. I got my 2013. Yeah. What's Tynes talking about? Viking. I like
they're doing a Viking cologne.
Oh, they're not.
How's Viking? How did that end up? Is it been a success? Has it been a flop? What's up with Viking? Because
Viking
kind of like, I think people were expecting another Aventus, like a massive hit. And then when it wasn't, it was like they weren't judging Viking for what it was, but they were judging it to, in a comparison to Aventus. I think
Viking smells like a high-end Old Spice.
Like Viking smelled like a very masculine cologne to me, like something classic as well. Yeah, I thought Viking was like nice. I don't know if I would buy it, but I thought it was a lovely perfume.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would buy it because all my other bottles are 120 ml, and you can only get that in 100.
Yeah.
So me OCD wouldn't allow it. You know what I mean? But it's I don't think it's not a bad perfume at all. It's very clean, very masculine, very nice, but nice at like. Sorry.
So if they're doing a flanker to Viking, I'm sure it's been very successful because it looks like they're doing
a lot of people. Yeah, I imagine what's happened is a lot of people have turned up on the back of Aventus and said,
right,
and said, "Oh, this is the new Creed," and everybody's just turned up and said, "Just give us it." Do you know what I mean? I'll buy the new one. And they've bought it as presents. They've bought it as like I feel like a lot of different things. But not necessarily based on like everybody would have thought it was just going to be, like you say, everybody would have thought it was just going to be another Aventus, which they're never going to. I mean, you don't pull things like that off, do you? Do you know what I mean?
Perfume originally comes out, it takes a bashing for a few weeks, maybe months, half a year, and eventually, if it's a good perfume, people come around to it, and it might take time.
Like Le Leon,
they get there. I think Le Leon was loved instantly.
Yeah, you're always going to have the Chanel, because Chanel's bigger than a perfume brand, isn't it? Chanel's Chanel's a bit like Apple. Do you know what I mean? You've got people who live the Apple life. Do you know what I mean?
Man, I never thought of
Chanel's. Yeah, there are some people who just live Chanel.
Right.
And I think you're always gonna. That's the base, and they will always have that. But I don't know if it's going to be a crossover perfume. To me, it's very linear as well.
I don't get that. It's very complex and ever changing.
Maybe it's just our skin.
Spend some time with it. Wear it properly.
No, I'm definitely going to spend. I'm definitely going to spend some time with it. I'm going to use up this sample. I'm going to wear it in the coming days, And then
How
if I
big is
use
your
up this sample, I'm going to buy a decant.
How big is your sample?
It's about 3 mil.
Okay. It's good to
It's
get
very generous of the last. Yeah, it's going to be good enough to get familiar, but then I'll buy like a 5 mil or a 10 mil, and I'll get to know. I mean, to be honest, it's just come out. It's not going to be which is reformulated as a 4-letter word for me. So like, it's not going to be reformulated. Sean again. Sean, it's linear to me as well. It might just be skin chemistry, Maybe me and Sean have just got bad skin chemistry compared to you, full of Leon. Because there are other things that me and you have got really different taste in perfume.
Absolutely.
It's one of the reasons that's so fucking interesting talking to you, because it's so different. And then when it does cross over, it's interesting as well where it does cross over.
Right. When I would see you come in my comments and post about perfumes, I always thought, like, I didn't know who you were, what you even looked like, but I always thought, like, this guy Rich Mitch must be like 75 years old, because he only talks about these classics. And then when I heard you were like 34 years old, I was shocked. I was surprised. I was like, he wears perfumes that are older than him.
Yes, that's right. I've got a couple of bottles that are older than me. I've got that Loewe Para Hombre. That's from 1974. That's literally like a good 10 years older than I am. And what's the other one? I've got a couple. Like I said, I've got a Koros, but I think the Koros bottles that I've got are like from when I was like 3 or 4. Do you know what I mean? I've always been like, I'm like that with loads of stuff. Yeah, that's just I like retro stuff. I like knowing what's going to happen next. That's what.
What
you know what I mean? Sorry.
What perfumes did you wear this week?
Me?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Hold on, we'll go on to Fragrantica. Fragrantica will tell us.
Raphael, he's shown his face here. If you go back to there's a video called Rich Mitch Reveal where he shows his face. You can see him early on in that video. It's like a 3-hour video. I think in the first 20 minutes, he comes on stream and he shows his face. So you can.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's done that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've shown my face. I'm just a bit swollen up at the minute. I had a steroid injection a couple of weeks ago, and I'm too thick. I'm too thick to come on.
You're bulking.
I'm bulking up at the minute. Right, I'll tell you what I've worn for the last week. Right, I wore Tabac Rouge, then Verdun Son, then Ambre Sultan.
Hang on, slow down. Tabac Rouge, that's the Avignon?
No, that's the Fedon.
Fedon, Tabac Rouge, okay. I've never smelled that. Which one?
Verdun Son.
Okay, the Tom Ford.
Then Ambre Sultan.
Okay.
Then Fendi Uomo.
Okay, is that a classic?
A Fendi Uomo is a classic. And then Amen. Then the original Amen. I've got a vintage Amen, which is strong. You have to understand it was meant to keep up with there was the mid-90s. It was trying to keep up with like Le Male and stuff. One spray of that stuff, even with a shitty spray, is absolutely nuclear. After that, I wore Follow by Kerosene.
Mm-hmm. Is that the coffee one?
Is that the coffee one? Yeah, that's the coffee one. One spray of that as well. Then yesterday, I wore Zino Davidoff. That was lovely. Ladies really like that. I've found really like it because it's clean but dark.
Does it matter to you if people like your perfume?
Absolutely fucking not. But it is nice. It is nice when people say that they like it. But sometimes it is, being the little shit that I am, it is also sometimes nice when people say they don't like it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because fuck people sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I want to wear something that pisses people off.
There's been times where I've gotten a negative compliment where somebody will say, I don't like that perfume. And I'm okay with it. It means zero to me, absolutely nothing. And I say, thank you. Like the exact same way I got a compliment. I'm glad that you don't like it. I don't know. I'm not offended.
Yeah.
At least, like, I'm not.
No, it doesn't offend us. It doesn't offend us in some
like,
sort of perverse way. I actually quite like it.
I'm not wearing this for you. I'm wearing it because I enjoy it, and you know, it's great that you have an opinion because you're allowed to. But I'm not going to stop wearing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I quite like pissing people off with my perfume. Sometimes I want to be a fucking vulgar
to piss somebody off, but I wear it because I like it. That's what I want to wear. Somehow that morning I was able to choose a fragrance. So for whatever reason, I selected that.
The same friend I was talking about who liked Zeno Davidoff really doesn't like dark fragrances.
Okay.
What are you saying outside? What are you saying outside?
No, I'm just trying to look at what I wore last week. Like I got like a bunch of fragrances on my counter, usually things that I wore last week or I want to, like, I'm looking ahead to. So I'm just trying to scan what I'm.
Do you pick what you're going to wear, like, in advance, or do you just wake up in the morning and decide?
Sometimes I'll choose some things out that I want to, like, get re-familiar with, and I just kind of want to, I don't know, look into or discover. So I'll put them here on my counter.
You just want to play with them.
I want to remind myself about that or study it, but usually I choose in the morning while I'm taking a shower. Like, I'll take 5-10 minutes sometimes. Sometimes it'll take longer. Sometimes I'll have to come out and actually do full scans of what do all right, today I feel like I need something warm, cozy, woody, floral. I don't know, depending on how I feel.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Sean, no, I have never smelled either of those perfumes. Caboose is right. I am only 35, allegedly. Sorry.
You're asking me what I wore today. So I actually wore Le Leon because before I chose my scent of the day, Rich Mitch messaged me and he's like, I just tried Le Leon and I'm not impressed. I was like, all right, we can't be friends. I can't be friends with this fucking guy. That actually inspired me. I was like, he's on crack. This is like one of the best things to come out in the 2000s. Even though last year in my favorite perfumes of 2020, I voted Hortus Sanitatis as my favorite, just because I found it a little bit more unique. It's still a very much a woody oriental like, but I thought it was just a little bit more unique and different, and that's why I rated it a little bit higher. But I still think this is one of the best perfumes. So that's what I wore today. And somebody's asking me if I ever got caught destroying. Have you ever been called by security when you destroy Invict? So I've never actually destroy the sprayers. I might toss them or something, but after every video I go and I pick them up and I put them right back where they came from. There's been a few times where a sales assistant has walked in just as I'm like bouncing it off the ground, or one time I threw one in the trash can. And then after I had to go back in the trash can, and a sales assistant found me in the trash can. And like, she had that look on her face like, what are you doing in our trash can? And I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And I said, I was just looking for a blotter. There's no blotters out here. You know what I mean? And another time,
I'm just looking for some food.
Yeah, I felt like a raccoon in the perfume bin, you know?
That's right. Yeah.
And there was another time where right during the lockdown, all the testers were kind of like, they had these jars on top of them and they didn't want you touching them. And there's a bottle of Byredo there. It was the unnamed bottle. Is that what it's called? Unnamed?
I'm not sure that's possible, is it?
It's a
paradox, that, isn't it?
I think the bottle comes with stickers and you name the scent yourself.
Oh, no shit.
So like it had this huge glass dome over it. I was like, there's a Byredo. I'm going to steal the sprayer. So just as I'm lifting the dome over and pulling the sprayer off, and I've got the camera, I can see the sales assistant coming towards me from the corner of my eye, but I wasn't going to finish, like turn off the video early. I was like, I don't care, whatever happens, but I'm gonna get this. And she came over and she gave me like the dirtiest cut eye, and she's like, you shouldn't be touching testers. I was just like, oh, sorry.
I'm so sorry. People are asking about. People are mentioning Equipage.
Yeah.
And I've just bought an Equipage.
I have Equipage and a geranium.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of geranium.
Geranium
when I was when I was researching Equipage, I actually found quite a few people saying that they thought the latest version was better, and I thought, ooh, that'll be because Jean-Claude Ellena reformulated it himself. That's one of the benefits of having an in-house perfumer. You get somebody as good as Jean-Claude Ellena to reformulate a perfume. He's going to do a good job of it, not giving it to the apprentice. Do you know what I mean? That's how a lot of perfumes are reformulated, by people learning. People are given perfumes to reformulate when they're like, as like a couple of their first jobs. Do you know what I mean? Because they feel like the work's done for them, and that's why Chanel reformulations are always great. That's why you hardly ever realize when Chanel reformulate things, because the perfumer,
it's the same
perfumer that did it. Yeah, it's the same person. Yeah, it's the same person.
We're very familiar
with
the original work.
Yeah. Tenchu asking if Gucci and Tensud for $81 is a good deal. Tenchu, you can do better. Not necessarily $81, but you can do better than Gucci and Tensud. It's not very good. Save your money, add it to something, and get something else.
So the guy at the Dior boutique that I deal with, his name is, I call him King Dior. His name is King, but I call him King Dior. And I came in once and he's like, are you stealing our sprayers? I was like, what? You're stealing our sprayers. I was like, oh my God, no. Like, and then I explained to him what I did and he started laughing his head off, but he thought I was stealing their sprayers. Alex Chu was with me once or twice. I think twice we've gone down to the Dior boutique, and he got to meet Dior as well. He's here in the comments.
He was, yeah. So what's the difference? Obviously, I'm about to ask the stupidest question ever. What's the difference between Equipage and Equipage geranium?
The geranium is just the minty aspect. It's a fresher version. So Equipage is a woody leather.
Yeah.
And then they just add that fresh mint to it. Sparkling geranium.
I'm really looking forward to this.
It's a nice fresh fragrance with some depth in it. It's interesting.
Right, here's one for you. Have you got Bellamy Vetiver?
I do.
So do you think it's nice?
I do.
Do you think it's nicer than the original Bellamy?
It might be more wearable because I've got the older bottle of a Bellamy. I mean, it's gorgeous, but you need you need a lot of energy to wear that perfume. It's such a strong, bold perfume. I think Bellamy Vetiver, it's easier to wear.
So I'm trying to think. Like, you know how they did Equipage geranium?
I think Bellamy Vetiver is actually a better. If you're looking for Chypre, I think Bellamy Vetiver fills that Chypre void. Like, they're both considered Chypres, but I get more of that sizzle, the contrast of the citrus, the patchouli, and the oak moss from the Vetiver, Bellamy Vetiver. It's got this amazing sizzle. What about Rocabar? I love Rocabars. I like Rocabar better than Equipage. If I can only choose one, Rocabar or Equipage, I would choose Rocabar. Now, if I can choose only Rocabar or Bellamy, I would choose Bellamy. So I would rank them like that.
So here's a question I was going to ask you before that question came up, right? Do you know there's Bellamy Vetiver, there's Equipage geranium. What note would you add to Rocabar?
Rocabar is very piney.
So do you know how they added vetiver to Bellamy to make Bellamy Vetiver?
Right.
and they added geranium to Equipage to make Equipage geranium, what note would you add to Rockabah to make Rockabah something?
To Rockabah. What would I add to Rockabah? Man.
You're making a perfume, so you should be able to make it. You should know these things now.
You're
you should have an opinion
here, man. You're putting me on the spot. It would definitely have to be something classic, right?
People are saying Rockabah Tonka.
Ew. Somehow I'm not surprised it's Galen, right? Rockabah. Man, it's very piney, earthy. It's such a classic accord. Like geranium is a classic note. You know, they've added geranium. And then vetiver is a classic note. I would find something classic along those lines.
Carnation.
Yeah, I love carnation.
Yeah, carnation's one of my favorites.
Rockabah is already leathery enough.
What about iris?
Juniper. And I think juniper is already in Rockabah. Iris, yeah, that could be interesting. Rockabah, iris. Wow.
Because that's what I was thinking.
Rockabah's got incense in there as well. Rockabah is like horse saddle leather.
Yeah.
And pine.
Well, that's what Rockabah is, isn't it? It's one of those things that goes over a horse, like a blanket that goes over a horse.
You look at the old vintage bottles of Rockabah, they came wrapped up in just like this mini blanket, this horse blanket.
Yeah. I found one. There's one on eBay for like 30 quid. No, sorry, it's a 30 mil, but they want like 60 quid.
How about like a Rockabah Rose?
Rockabah Rose. I'm trying to think of the other vintage bloody Hermeses now. What other notes would you add to a vintage, like a vintage Hermes? What was the other one?
Rockabah Labdanum. How about that?
Rockabah Labdanum. Labdanum is not like Labdanum is a classic note, but it's an unsung hero note. Yeah, you know what I mean? People don't go. People, yeah. It's not like a flash. Like if you were to say like Rockabah Labdanum, people would go, well, "What the fucking hell's Labdanum?" Do you know what I mean? My God, he's on fire. What's happening? You're on the telly. Is that someone you know? Well, clearly it's someone you know.
I just shut it off.
Is it not that important? Rockabah. What was the one? What's the one that Thomas has got liters of? The Hermes that Thomas has got liters of.
What's that?
Dylan. What's the Hermes that Thomas has got liters of?
Eau de Hermes.
Eau de Hermes. So what would you add to Eau de Hermes?
I wouldn't fuck with that, man. I wouldn't touch Eau de Hermes.
Thomas would kill you. He's got them all with the copper, the pewter cap, he calls them.
Hang on, I got another call coming.
That's all right. Go and take it if you want.
Hey,
I'll.
You're live on YouTube.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Okay, bye. Hi.
I'll call you later, okay?
Yeah, okay. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Everybody's asking if it was your perfumer.
No, that was actually 3 different people. It was
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh, I was gonna say just answer it and go on.
What would I do with Eau de Hermes? Man, Eau de Hermes is so classy. I would add something more green to it. It's already green, but maybe something more green.
Galbanum.
Yeah, I was just thinking galbanum. Yes.
Galbanum. Have you ever smelled Jules by Dior? Possibly the greenest perfume
I
ever.
want to say yes.
It's so green. It's so fucking green. It's obscenely green. It's ridiculously green. It's green to the point of being too green.
Then I don't remember it green. Maybe I'm thinking there's another release by Dior. It's not Jewel. What was the men's release they had that wasn't a huge success?
Dune?
Dune. Yes, Dune I've smelled. It's not, I don't think I've smelled Jules. It's Dune I'm thinking.
Yeah. June was the fig one. Fig, the problem I find with fig is you can only wear it in the high heat of the summer. Yeah. Because he only wears odor. NC saying there was a rumor at one time that Jean-Claude Ellena only wears eau de Hermes. Can anyone confirm or deny that?
I remember reading an interview and he's saying he doesn't wear any fragrance whatsoever. And then I read another interview saying, and this was recently, saying that he's wearing sometimes Terre de Hermes and he's still trying to figure it out himself. How ironic is that?
Yeah.
Like, he created it and he's still trying to figure it out. I thought that was very interesting. Like, maybe there's more to it. Like, maybe there's not that intention we believe. You know, we review a fragrance and we're like, yeah, this is what we get for it. So we assume this is what the perfumer's intentions were, when maybe they were just throwing a bunch of crap together and that was the result, you know?
Yeah. Like, maybe his skin chemistry's changed as he's got older as well, because that happens with people. That haunts me. Do you know what I mean? Stuff that smells nice on us now isn't going to smell, because obviously with collecting vintages,
right?
I'm protective of my perfumes as well, so I don't I find myself, what I do is I buy some daily drivers that I'll use more than I'll use my classics, which I'll just whip out, treat them like classic cars. You've got a daily driver, and then every once in a while you've got you whip out one of your classics and you wear that. Yeah, I fear that my skin chemistry will change one day and that shit fucking won't smell the same on us.
Well, if you keep thinking it, it's going to happen. If you keep believing
exactly.
it, you're bringing it on.
That's right. I've got a fucking bad habit of doing that.
Are you at all excited for the new Dior tobacco color?
You know, I'm finished with Dior basically. The new stuff doesn't interest. It's Dimashi. Apparently there's a documentary coming out about him.
Yeah,
I thought that was when Galen sent that the other day, I thought it was a mock-up. I thought it was a piss take. I was like, yeah, of course, need bother. I didn't even bother commenting on it. I thought it was that obvious. Turns out it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
He double bluffed us. I can't believe it.
I wonder if it's gonna. Do you have to go to the theater to watch it, or is it available on Netflix? Where do you go and watch such?
You won't be able to. You won't be able to go to the theater. You won't be able to go to the theater. You can't in this country. I don't know. I'd dislike it if it was. It's out today apparently. So if somebody wants to have a look where we can, I won't watch it, unless it's free to watch because I'm a peasant. But if it's free to watch, I mean, fucking honestly, it's unavailable on Amazon Prime. I don't have Amazon Prime, but I know someone who does. Jeremy Hines, I'm going to come to Canada. Honestly, don't make us come over there, son. You're a bad man. I've seen the bombs you've been dropping in the comments.
Who's that?
If I will,
Hines.
It's Jeremy. Dirt deep as Jeremy Hines, the little rascal. He may very well be the greatest of all time, Mitch. You're a bad man. Making sense. Has sent you some money. I hope I get this. This is it. This is it. I hope I get my share of this.
Yeah, we'll get.
I'll be getting
cans of Pavarotti, some backup.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, have you given it any more?
But can I tell them? Like, is this a secret? Is this something I'm supposed to?
No, it's nothing that was ever a secret. We should have had Thomas back on. Should have said it when.
I mean, can I speak for the other two, or do I not say anything? what do I say here? How about you tell the
Say whatever
story?
you like.
Because I don't want to put anybody like on the spotlight that doesn't want to be.
No, I was just gonna say, fucking, when you decided to make your perfume and you released the video, we were all very proud of you and very happy, and we thought, what better way to show that we were proud and happy of our friend than to buy him a perfume he's been resisting buying for months. By forcing a perfume on him that he doesn't want. We were all clubbed together. We went 3 years.
Your mic is
on
acting up. Hey, are you eating your cell phone or what?
No, I'm still here. Can you hear us?
Yeah, that's better.
Is that better? I was just saying, no, we were all very proud of you, so we decided to club together and get you a perfume that you didn't want.
So, Rich Mitch has been harassing me for months. Can you see that? To buy Luciano Pavarotti, like for months. Every day he'd send me a message 5 times, relentlessly. Did you buy Pavarotti? Did you buy Pavarotti? And I'd be like, hey, I want to buy a perfume. I don't know. What should I get? He's like, Pavarotti. And it was just like, oh my God. He was becoming obnoxious, you know. And I was like, no, stop. Leave me alone. It's like, I can only imagine what it's going to smell like. A designer, I guess you could call it. Yeah, a celebrity scent. And I get home from work one day and there's 2 packages at my front door. And I was like, this is really weird. I was expecting one, but I was like, where's this other package from? Because it says perfume right on the box. I was like, I can swear I didn't order anything. I was like, so weirded out. And then I get inside and I open it up and it's like the first thing I see is the packaging to Pavarotti. I knew right away, like, you had something to do with it. And then I kind of read there was this postcard inside and it said it was from you. And I'm going to say, I know they're here or probably watching, but it was you, Galen, and Thomas that had kind of combined, pitched in and got me a bottle of Pavarotti, which I was extremely grateful. It made me so happy, you know, when I opened it up. I was like, oh, that's so sweet, you know. Dudes don't usually do that sort of thing. We show our, you know, we show love in different ways, like in bro ways, you know.
Yes, we like punch each other in the face.
Right.
Things like
that. Throw each other to the ground, kick sand on, you know, that's how we show love. But I thought it was really special. Now the scent itself,
yeah, like
when I smell it from the nozzle, I can say, all right, it smells good. It smells interesting. It's definitely an ode to classic masculine perfumery. You kept talking about how much of a patchouli perfume it was, but what surprised me is I get way more oak moss than patchouli. And you keep saying that you hate florals, and I'm like, how can this guy hate florals? This is all florals. Like this is all florals. The top and the heart is all florals. This guy, what the hell is he talking about? But I don't know. Do you get the florals or not?
Yeah, I do. I didn't always recognize them as florals. Yeah, I get a very clean. It's very well made, especially for a celebrity scent. It's extremely well put together. I forget the name of the perfumer. I think it's David.
I'm not familiar with the perfumer either.
Yeah, I forget who he is. Galen will be able to tell me. It's no, he wouldn't compromise his take on Pavarotti because it was a gift and because of like if he liked it, he would tell us straight. I wouldn't fucking.
I'm going to tell you, and as much as I appreciate the gift and I love the fact that you guys got me something, the first thing I said to you is, this stuff smells cheap, Rich. Like, and you agreed. You're like, yeah, there is a cheapness to it. So there is this classic take, the take that I love. Like, it has, you know, elements of 80s perfume, oak moss, probably some castoreum. There's some leathery aspects to it, patchouli. You know, it's got that chypre accord, but there's I don't know if it's the florals or something. Like, it's got nice parts to it, but there's something in here that smells cheap to me, and I'm not quite sure what it is.
I wonder if it's the honey.
Don't kill me.
No, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. But I said to you, you know, this smells, there's something about it that smells cheap. And you're like, yes, I definitely get that. And that's what I love about it. Like, it's just so wearable.
Yeah, it's very wearable. And it's very, it's for me, it's what did I say? Yeah, I love it more than I like it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like, absolutely love it.
Yeah, I do. I absolutely love it.
You love it. I love that you're obsessed with a perfume that nobody talks about. Nobody. I think. Then I Googled. This is the interesting part. I Googled, like, a YouTube search Pavarotti, and then I'd see like Rich Mitch sent me a bottle of Pavarotti. Rich Mitch said, I was like, what the fuck's going? Like, Rich Mitch has this influence on Luciano Pavarotti perfume. So interesting.
That's right. I sent a few people samples of Pavarotti. It's such a strange perfume. It's yes, Jeremy Hines, it does belt it out there like Pavarotti did. It's very strong, especially in the opening. It's best to wear it in the heat. But it's like,
maybe it's the honey. There's something.
Yeah, because honey can be astringent or it can be foul. Do you know what I mean? Like a really like, you can do a lot with honey. Honey's a very 80s accord as well. It's a very 80s note, sorry. Like, it was huge in like, I mean, it's in Chorus, it's in Ted Lapidus Porom. It's in these big
from the brand, Rich.
From Pavarotti. No, he's been dead for 10 years, hasn't he?
Well, I'm sure somebody owns the estate. But you're definitely an influencer. You don't have your own channel, but you're probably the first influencer without his own YouTube channel.
That's right. That's like I told Nigel the other day. I like to sit on this side of the fence.
I don't mean influencer in the typical, the typical aspect. Like, when you say the word influencer, there's things that come to mind. You're not that typical influencer, but you've got influence over people.
People listen. It's people know what I'm like. Do you know what I mean? People know that I'm not very good at bullshitting. And I like what I like. One of the things is I'm not as concerned with what other people think, and I've always been like that. You know what I mean? And like, you do brush up against people, you do rub up against people when you get like that. And I think a lot of men are like that, just as the nature of being men, especially when you're young. And I was like, especially like on Friday when I was being interviewed by Nigel, I was angry.
Yeah, you sounded angry.
Yeah, it was my chance to get Rich's Leon of influencers. It's
you have a voice and you want to be heard, right? Is that
it's
I felt your frustrations come out in that video.
Yeah, absolutely. And my frustrations with the community, I feel like parts of the community are letting us down. I also feel like parts of the community are really like brilliant, that I love. Do you know, like what we're doing now, and like the people who are here? And it's like, really like like you said earlier, I really like the people who are here, and like all the bullshit and all the ribbon.
Yeah, because
that goes on. Do you know?
You're on the inside looking out. Like, here, this is the center of your universe. That's why you love it.
Yeah.
We all kind of see ourselves as the center of the universe, because wherever we look, we're looking outside, right? And I used to be like that as well. And now it's like, I got to let it go, or else it would just drive me absolutely insane. I can't worry about what other people are doing. And when I'm focused on what other people are doing, I can't focus on myself.
Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like I feel your pain.
Yeah, that's it. It is. I'm more coming to see. You're a bit older than me. Although you don't look it. I look older than you. It's fucking ridiculous. 35 going on fucking 55. But
You
it's like
you look great. I thought I saw you earlier this evening. You looked handsome as fuck.
That's right.
You had a fresh shave. You look great. I thought.
Fucking, I've shaved the rest of my face apart from my chin. I'm thinking of shaving in a mustache. I think it would go well with all my scents, all my Italian perfume. You know what I mean? Shaving a big horrible stash. I hope you did something like that when you shaved off your beard, shaved in a big horrible tash.
Yeah, just to see what. I didn't take any pictures or anything. I don't want any memories, but
yeah, it's got to be done. It's no, it's interesting. I'm just sort of. I felt like on Friday I had to just get out what I had to get out. Excuse me. I had to get out what I had to get out. I felt like I had to rage against part of the com that are taking the piss, that I feel are taking the piss anyway. There are people in the com who do not have the best intentions for the com. You know what I mean? They're in it for themselves. They take out from the com and don't put in. Do you know what I mean? They don't do things for other people out the goodness of their heart. Quackery reviews. Heinz is going to get a strongly worded email from me. Young rascal.
Well, everybody has different intentions, and I don't know. Is there a right from wrong? Like, what's right for you isn't necessarily the way everybody views things, or the way I do things. You know, I used to think like my way is the only way, it's the only proper way, but there's no truth to that. We're all our own person, and we're free to do YouTube however we like.
No, I agree with that, but part of that is me saying that I don't like what the other people are doing. Do you know what I mean?
Right, I get it. You don't like it.
Yeah.
Right.
When I was talking to my friend today, and she said to me, "It's not necessarily what you said; it's the way you said it." And I was like, "Yeah, I sort of get what you mean, because like I'm a big man, and like the way I can talk sometimes gets a bit."
Yeah,
I can be a bit.
You're very macho. I mean? You're very macho manish.
Macho manish, yeah. Not if you really knew it, which you do. Fucking, I have my moments though where I get bullish.
I know you have the best intentions because I talk to you outside of YouTube. And
yeah,
you're usually very laid back, and you have actually very good advice. But I know why you wear perfume, and it's for your own personal pleasure. And not everybody views perfume. People wear perfume because they want to be noticed or they want to be complimented, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's no right or wrong reason to wear perfume, even though we don't agree with it. And
no, it's
not everybody's going to drop a 25-minute Guerlain review, right? No, they're not interested in that kind of thing. And we can't expect that.
No, it's true. No, it's true. There's excuse me. It's everybody can, and there's one of the best things about it is even though it's small, there's a breadth of diversity. There are lots of different people doing lots of different things. It's just the amount of people you see change, and not necessarily for the better. And you see stuff. I mean, Galen released a video tonight in which he literally uttered the words, "This video is essentially an advertisement, an advertisement." That was part of his review at the beginning, and he was like the FCC, I think it was the FCC or the CDC or somebody, like one of the regulatory bodies, like requires me to tell you that I have been paid in kind for this review by somebody giving me a thing. Galen is one of the only people I have ever heard say that. When do you see people put on their fucking adverts, right? When people put on their videos that this is a paid promotion, this includes paid promotion. They should have to put that, and they don't.
Most people don't.
And what they're doing, they're hiding it and saying it's a review. It's not a review, mate. I don't watch certain channels for the same reason I don't watch QVC. I don't want to be sold something, and it just gets us. It's not that it gets us down. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't affect me life that much. And I watch more YouTube and more perfume reviews than most people, simply because of the fact that I can't work at the minute. You know what I mean? But it's just when you see people, and the worst part about it being, because it is patronizing, but one of the worst parts about it is that the fuckers expect me to fucking believe what they're saying. It's like the fucking cheek of them. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like how can you possibly expect me to like smile and nod along with you and believe what you're bloody, like, the shit that's spewing out your mouth? You know what I mean? It's like, watch Galen's review tonight is spot on. Sorry?
What was the perfume?
What that he reviewed tonight?
Yeah.
It was Kajal Pour Homme. Okay,
right. I remember him mentioning it. I think he uploaded it right as we were starting this stream.
Yeah, so I know. I would. He sent us the link to watch it, like, while it was still private, and I watched it. I thought it was a really good review, to be fair. But begrudgingly, don't tell him I bloody said that though. It was a good review of like a perfume that he's. Well, I won't tell you what happens in the review, but don't
spoil it for us.
Yeah, don't spoil it exactly. But I would recommend everybody goes to watch it. It's on what channel? The Etherealist. And it's really that's like, it's like he does like a piss take out of what other.
There he is.
Did you give the video a thumbs up? Of course I didn't, Galen. You know I didn't give it a thumbs up. I don't thumb up fragrance reviews.
Yeah, considering Galen wanted to give this video 2 thumbs down.
That's right.
What a selfish lover, right?
That's right. Look at him. Only a man with hair like that could be a selfish lover.
Himself. Do not subscribe to Galen's channel.
Nasty Galen. Naughty Galen.
The Realist.
Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna have to go to bed in a minute. I'm fucked.
Yeah, it's probably time to cut this. And I was gonna say short, but it's not short at all. It's 3 hours.
Is it 3 hours? Is it? Oh, excellent. Do you want to go for another 10 minutes to get to 3 hours?
We can if you like. I mean, sure.
Yes. Quickly, someone think of something to talk about.
Maybe Galen can join us and explain his thumbing down of our videos.
Yes, that's right. Galen, jump on. He's got the link. Galen, where are you? It's got to be what? It's got to be 5 o'clock where he is now, so he's got no excuse. He's finished work. He's working from home.
My eyes are horrible. 8:40. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5:30.
5:40 in Stumptown.
Stumptown. That's right. It's always 5:40 in Stumptown.
I like Galen's channel. I like his videos a lot. Don't tell him I said that though. My favorite part of his videos is watching his slippers go up and down the stairs. I laugh so hard every time I see his slippers.
Little Easter eggs. Who else is doing YouTube reviews to get the porno career? Picture styles. I know I'm not the only one. No, I'm afraid not, Jeremy Leon. It's not doing it for us still.
What else? I
It's
don't,
still
I
not.
don't know what else I wore. Last week I wore Louis Vuitton Ombre Nomad one day, and the next day I wear the Nouveau Monde. So the Ombre Nomad is the rose oud, the very spicy, leathery rose oud. It's got some animalics to it. It's nothing new, but it is. I think it's kind of like when it comes to that genre, they've really perfected it.
What, the rose oud?
The rose oud.
Yeah, rose ouds are dying out now.
That's rose oud. But
Sorry?
the Nouveau Monde, I feel like the Nouveau Monde is almost like the skeleton to Ombre Nomad. So it's like they've taken Nouveau Monde, which is a leather. It's a very spicy animalic leather, birch tar. They say it's oud in there. I don't find it very oudy. So they've taken like the skeleton of Nouveau Monde and they've dressed it up, and like all of Nouveau Monde is inside of Ombre Nomad, and they've just added rose, overdosed
Yeah,
the
they've dressed it.
Added more oud to it and made it stronger.
It is Alberto Marias you're talking about. You know what I mean? So, oh no, it's not that's not.
What's his name from Louis Vuitton?
I've dropped the bollock there. Sorry,
Cavalier.
Alberto.
Cavalier.
Cavalier.
Yeah. Rudy, which do you like better, Nouveau Monde or Ombre Nomad? I think both are really lovely. Like if I was going to get one rose oud vanilla, it would be Ombre Nomad. It's so loud though, and it's tenacious, and it never stops. It's like every single breath for 18 hours, you're going to be able to smell this.
Is it synthetic? Does it smell synthetic? Hello?
It doesn't smell cheap to me. I'm sure it's got lots of synthetics in there, but there's never a moment where I'm like, oh, I'm struggling with this. No, I enjoy it.
Yeah. When I say something smells synthetic, what I mean is that it smells like something trying to be a perfume.
Right.
Rather than, I don't mind synthetics. I don't mind like a completely synthetically made, even though I buy like vintage perfumes, which have like almost no synthetics. Well, they have a lot less synthetics in. I'm not against like stuff like Rien and stuff like Gucci Guilty Absolute, like the modern ones that I do like, as long as they don't smell like something that's trying to be a perfume, as long as they don't smell something like I've bought like scented alcohol. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People say scented water, but it's not. It's scented alcohol. It's like as long as I don't buy something that smells absolutely dross, then I don't mind like synthetic perfumes.
And it looks like the opinions are divided here between Ombre Nomad and Nouveau Monde.
Oh dear, I haven't smelled any of them. I haven't smelled any of them. I'm really interested in Hortus Sanitatis.
Oh man, I love it like so much. But you know what I think part of the problem with Le Lion for you is, like, you've probably seen all the videos and you've read the reviews, and you were just thinking it's going to be the greatest perfume ever. You know what?
Yeah, you think I've set myself up for a fall.
You were expecting the God's gift to perfume, and then when you smelt it, you're like, "Oh, this is it." Like, you were let down.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else I've been smelling. I know what you mean, because I've had that happen with other perfumes as well. But I'll tell you what else I've been smelling recently that I've really been quite enjoying. Do you know Incense Rose by Tower?
I have one. I have Incense Rose. Yes.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice.
It is a really nice perfume.
I wish it was a little bit less, ever so slightly less incensey.
Why?
But it's very clear because it almost it's that incense that almost takes like the lining off the back of your throat. Do you know when you get like really dry? You know when you breathe in and you're somewhere that there's like a fire nearby and you get some smoke in your throat.
I love dry perfumes.
Yeah, like a white wine perfume.
But I don't like dry wine.
I don't drink, so.
I don't drink either, but if I have wine, I don't like dry because it keeps my throat dry.
Yeah. That's how I feel about incense sometimes. Incense often, whether it's real incense or whether it's and I don't know whether I've got this from like perfume like incense, whether it's like a scent memory that like triggers off this response. But I get whenever I smell like incense, like really strong incense, like he's got a perfume called Incense Extreme, and I can barely wear it because it's so fucking strong. It's one of those perfumes. I never understood when people say they put a spray behind the neck. It's like, well, how can you fucking smell it? Do you know what I mean? But it's like, it's just so it doesn't go up their nose. That's a perfume I struggle to wear. That the duck likes incense rose. Yeah, I do. I like incense rose.
So Ombre
it's
Nomad
really nice.
to me is have you smelt Rose d'Arabie from Armani?
Rose d'Arabie, is that's by don't tell us, it's by Armani.
I just told you, yeah. The Armani Creep. So to me, it's like an amplified Rose d'Arabie. It's like warmer, creamier, more complex, more fuller and richer. It's like Arabie taken to the next level. It's like the perfect. It's like the perfect Rose d'Arabie. I don't think you need both, but it's been so long since I've smelt Rose d'Arabie. Rudy asking, did I find a resemblance to Santal 33 from Au Hasard? Yes, I think that's the reason I dislike both of them. I own Au Hasard. I blind bought it, and I do not like it at all. I find it a very cheap version of sandalwood. That's Au Hasard is the sandalwood, right? I really struggled to like that one. It seems like it had no contrast to me. Everything was kind of like flowing the same way. Very sharp, almost synthetic. I didn't enjoy the spices in it. I didn't enjoy the citruses. I didn't like anything about it. I even try to, like, I don't sell many perfume bottles, but I even try to flip Au Hasard.
Yeah, you don't sell many perfume bottles because I keep trying to buy your Serge Luton and you won't have it.
Like, I don't like it at all.
Really? I wish you hated Serge Luton so you'd sell me all your fucking ones. I'll come over and get them. No, it's yeah. I'm still trying to get fucking Galen to fucking fill out those forms so he'll sell us Fiona Nagil and a couple of other Serge. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to sell us them. All
right, let's get out of here.
All right. Yes, I need to go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning.
We can do this again some other night. I don't know.
Yes.
Pick a day during the week.
Indeed.
Maybe we can pick one night and make it a night, like a live stream night.
Yeah.
Get consistent.
Yeah. How many people are watching now? Has it been like a steady 80?
75 right now.
Yeah, it's a good number. It's a good, like,
for being on for 3 hours. Number. I think so.
Yeah. Happy days. Right, then I'll let you wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Duck. Let me know if
Thank you.
If you find any other perfumes that you're not impressed with, and we can argue and debate or agree. No. I always enjoy talking about perfume, so it doesn't really matter.
That's right. Me too.
Guys,
it's been a great night. Thank you very much.
Yeah. We had Thomas on. Thomas he's fun to listen to. He gets animated and he knows his stuff, so it's always good to have him. Maybe we can have him and Galen on at the same time.
That's right. All 4 again.
Yeah, everybody in the comments, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you. Hope you have a good night. And we'll see you soon, all right? Thanks for watching.
Night.
All right. Ciao, Rich.
Ciao.